From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
In an open violation of the Supreme Court protocol for interim protection, he's gone and had an open meeting, which I'm sure you've seen reported, with none other than Sachin Waze, co-accused in multiple cases. And that open meeting, the way he's done it, shows that he doesn't even care much for the Supreme Court. What are the lessons in this? Let me broadly begin by asking you, Mr. Sundaram, what do you think are the broad lessons for all of us, for the whole system, and for citizens tonight?
Arnab, I think it's a very unhappy story when we have to say, but who will guard the guard dog? Who will watch the watchdog? The problem that we face today is that the public trust, public faith in institutions such as the police, which are meant to look after the individual, is eroding day by day. And the more incidents like this come to light, the worse it gets. You referred now to a very simple statement earlier, which I saw, where you said that they think they are the law.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in cases like this, it's not that they think they are the law. They think they are above the law. And that's a big difference. And that's the danger. If they are the law, they'll follow the law, they'll implement the law. But if they feel they're above the law, they feel the law does not apply to them. Now, I am very surprised. I think anyone would be very surprised that he had such an open meeting with the very person who's been accused of such grave crimes. A person who has really brought a lot of disgrace to the police, and a person who today, by his own statements, seems to be involved in a lot of criminal activities, very, very serious and heinous. For this ex-police commissioner who pleads his innocence to, when he is meant to cooperate in an investigation, to meet this person openly like this, I felt was very brazen.
Very, very.
Unless, of course, he didn't intend it to be open, in which case it was still not right.
Terrible.
But it wouldn't have been that brazen.
Yeah.
So it really makes me wonder, where the citizen is going to look, where the people who are going to look after the rights of citizens themselves don't seem to bother about the law at all, and themselves are implicated in such serious and heinous crimes. And I'm afraid incidents like this keep eroding confidence which has already been very eroded in the police. And it's very unfortunate that things like this should happen.
It shouldn't, you're so right. And personally, may I say, I'm sure Mr. Manan also, as you know, Mr. Sundaram is a really, really, veteran criminal lawyer. There was a sense of disbelief, Mr. Manan, at the fact that he went and had a meeting with Sachin Waze. And then he went on to say, he tried to put a pursus before the commission, in which he said, well, I had a meeting. Essentially, it was that there was a so what to it. The doors were open, he said, and we went in and we spoke. It's an acknowledgement, in a way, Mr. Manan, that here's a person who believes that nothing applies to him. Now, this particular disgraceful chapter, viewers, ending with this suspension order, Government of Maharashtra Home Department. We are talking here on the debate tonight of lessons. Just imagine, Mr. Manan, what was happening all year long while these people were ruling the roost in Mumbai. If this is what they were doing in individual cases, financial capital of India, Mr. Manan, just imagine how the financial and commercial capital of the nation, since, you had a machinery which was meant to uphold the law, but it became a law into itself. Just imagine how much this combination would have done. Just imagine, it's ghastly to even think how many people would have silently suffered the tyranny of this combination of Wazir and Parambir. These people are being dishonest to the service and to the uniform. And why I call it divine providence, Shravan and Savio, you can take this forward, is because had it not been for a change of high tide and low tide near the Mumbai coast, where Mansukh Hiren's body, after he was murdered, allegedly on the instructions of Sachin Wazir, and his body was dumped, his mouth was stuffed with handkerchiefs, Nirva, you know that? And his hands were tied and his body was dumped. But such is the hand of the God Almighty that the body came back after being dumped into the creek and it was found. And then Parambir Singh told all of us, you remember that, Subhash Jha, oh, he's committed suicide. And then Parambir Singh got busy in creating an alibi for Sachin Wazir, for which Parambir Singh was being investigated. Somewhere midway, the NIA left that investigation. Till today, NIA owes an explanation to the people of this country on why it has gone slow in the Mansukh Hiren investigation. And just, if I have the pictures, I'll show of that vehicle. I asked the producers to pull it out this morning. The same vehicle, not this one, there's a deep olive green Scorpio which was planted outside Antilia with the bombs by Sachin Wazir, is the vehicle in which Sachin Wazir drove to my house when he brought 100 people with AK-47s in their hands to arrest me. Viewers, I'm showing you pictures on the right. The same vehicle then, which was parked right outside my house on the right-hand side of the screen, was later stuffed with bombs and is on the left-hand side of your screen. And I'm showing this today because I want the Lutyens media to hang its head in shame. Shame on you, Lutyens media. We fought them. This man took the same car, stuffed it with bombs, took it outside Mukesh Ambani's house. We fought them alone, Savio. For me, that's the biggest lesson. Still coming to terms with the crash itself. This is a route which must have been taken many times in the past. We're getting pictures of the crash. I'd like to put it on the screen. It's a route which must have been taken many times in the past. It's a VVIP chopper. I'm sure all the precautions were taken. So first, were you also completely shocked with the crash itself? We're not getting real reports about the weather condition. We don't know details. Let me run some of the pictures of that crash. And Abhishek joins me in the studio. I'll just run both sides, the pictures of the devastation and of the crash itself, of the moments of the crash, after the crash, I'm sorry. And we are confronting a loss today, all of us, which cannot be erased. And etched in all our hearts is a sense of grief. We look back on General Bipin Rawat, but there is a great, there's questions being raised about the crash itself. Yes. Because the crash of the Mi-17 at 12:20 en route to Wellington from Sulur in Tamil Nadu has caused a loss of 13 of the 14 passengers, included our 4-star General Bipin Rawat. Now you see these pictures, viewers, look at them closely. These are images from soon after the crash, and on the left you will see the fire is still, there's a ball of fire raging at the wreckage site. So there has been a big explosion there after landing. Now the question is, was this on impact or before impact? We don't know, because we do not have a video of the moment of the crash itself. And the destruction is so massive that on the right you will see the trees in and around the area were completely broken, and trees trunk is broken into half, and people are trying to douse the flames. It's clear that despite all the best efforts post the crash, the loss of lives was absolutely inevitable. And you're seeing this wreckage visible from afar on the left-hand side. You're seeing a ball of smoke billowing the forest from a distance. It can be seen showing how big the fire was and how absolutely deep the impact was. It's over a big area. So the entire aircraft has been dismantled. General Sharma, this devastating news for the whole country, for all of us. I'm sure for you personally. Lot is now being known by the entire country about the contribution of General Bipin Rawat, and as we talk more and we hear more, and as we dive deeper into what he was doing and his vision, the loss becomes something which becomes even more difficult to replace. General Rakesh Sharma, please, sir.
Well, Arnab, I am deeply saddened and pained today that my cosmate is no more, that great soldier whom I had known at each and every step. He has actually left for the heavenly abode. This tragic incident, very tragic, very sad, and it has sent tremors across not only the army or the armed forces, but the entire countrymen, because he was revered and respected by all and sundry. It's not that you earn respect just like that. I have known him from 1978 onwards because we went together as NDA 52 cosmates there. And I had seen a dynamic and a spark man. Personally, I thought that he was better than most of us, much better than me. Why? Because firstly, he had a discipline in him, because probably from a military background, his father was a general. And second thing is that he had a very logical mind. So from what we call it in Hindi, honhar birwan ki ho chikne par, I saw that in him. I want to give a reference from here, India itself, in the manner it should not be understood in the other way. You see, when we were together in NDA, due to a medical kind of a reason, he was put back by one step. I'm not elaborating, today is not the day. But look at him. He's, if somebody like me would have been there, I would have been demotivated, because that is the stepping stone. But he took it. He said that I will do better. He went back one step, took 3 steps forward. Then we went to IMN and he got the Sword of Honor. That's the greatness of the soldier. A soldier of soldiers. I pay my salute and salutations to my revered and a great warrior. The country will miss him. The armed forces are already missing him. And having known him from NDA onwards, thereafter we served together many places. When we were there in the army headquarters, he was first the vice chief, I was director general operational logistics. And that time too, I found him a very straightforward man, a Gurkha soldier. What he said, he meant that, and he wanted it to be executed, much to the, I would say, sometimes unhappiness of even the polity or the bureaucrats that time. He pushed it. What he saw, what was for the good of the army, what was ailing the army, they did not have rifles, they did not have that. So he pushed for the modernization. It is during his time that the modernization really took a step forward. Second, he ensured that
absolutely.
When Uri took place, we were together. We used to discuss the response. He is a strong proponent of a strong military action so that the adversary actually is cowed down. That time he had said, I remember having said that. And look, he started this when he was a corps commander in Nagaland. That was the first real sense kind of a surgical strike that we went across. And it is the same man when he was the chief of the army staff. He executed post the Uri, the surgical strike, and with such kind of a precision. I know throughout the day and night we used to be there sitting out there. So, he is a man who had the vision, like General Bakshi said. He is a very strong man.
Yeah.
He, in fact, his decision made the polity strong. The politicians who had to take strong action, like Ajit Doval and all that, because had somebody else been there, they listened. But
absolutely,
he always felt what was right for the country, for the nation, for the army. He said, please execute it. So that is the kind of a soldier that I know of in him. And I have my reverence for him. I salute him. And I say, buddy, I have lost you. You have touched the hearts of everybody. You have broken my heart.
if someone were to ask you, Ms. Najam, how are you today? How are you doing? It has been said that you are missing and that you are dead and that you are not well, okay? If someone were to put that to you, would you need a written script to reply, right? And would you look at a written script and say, I am well, I have no problems, I love the Haqqanis, I love the ISI? Would you need a script to say that? This man, what kind of script do you need to tell the world that you're safe? It's hilarious. General Sudhakarji, it's hilarious. I don't know what these ISI people do all the time. They've got the man captive. You should say we have him in captivity. He's not listening to us. We've locked him up. Republic, other media asking questions. We put him out. We've given him a script. So, Ms. Najam, who needs a script in these situations to say that I'm safe? Who needs a script to say I'm safe and sound?
Arnab, if you allow me,
I just fail to understand that what is actually bothering you. Why this script thing has become so big in India that every channel has picked up this script thing, these papers, and they are wasting their time on
why is it bothering me? One minute, just one minute. No, you are asking me why it's bothering me. I should reply to you, right, Ms. Najam? And no, you are saying why are you bothered? Why are you people in India bothered? Okay, so I'll tell you why we are bothered.
Assuming that this script was given by the ISI, you're assuming that this script has been given because the things are not good among the Talibans and that there are infightings among them.
Yeah.
What evidence do you have? We should have evidence-based debate rather than wasting our time on these trivial things. The important thing in Afghanistan at this point of time is that they are going to face humanitarian crisis.
That is your problem. You have adopted the country.
Behind them,
you have adopted them.
Supporting them.
No. 1 second. Miss Najam, you have adopted them. 1 minute. No, 1 minute.
From the morning. Morning, I'm saying, and I told the same thing before in your program, that geographically we are the neighbors of Afghanistan and not India. And you also know that anything wrong happening in Afghanistan has a direct impact on the situation in Pakistan. And not to forget that we have millions of refugees staying in Pakistan. And there is,
No, I go back to the video. Miss, 1 minute. Just okay, viewers, 1 minute.
Our stakes are very high.
Miss
we
Najam,
have to guard. We have to guard ourselves. And to guard ourselves, we have to take care of the situation in Afghanistan, whether political, economic, humanitarian, all these issues, they require
Miss Najam, can I tell you one thing? I don't know how things are working out nowadays in Lahore and Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Kabul and all that, but for us, civilized people,
they're very nice.
For us,
we are leading a comfortable life here.
It's very nice.
I don't know who is giving you the wrong news. We are happy. If I'm giving the wrong news,
then why does the whole Pakistani establishment, Brigadier Saeed Nazir, only keep putting out propaganda videos to counter the news that I'm putting out? If this doesn't matter, because you know that whatever I'm putting out, people in Pakistan are also watching, and I'm being told today, what is the problem with a script? Well, okay, let me tell you. In civilized countries, viewers, let me show the picture of the TV anchor surrounded by the Taliban terrorists with guns, made to praise the Taliban on air. Just think about it. Look at this. People in Pakistan, look at this. Look at this. Look at this man, frightened. We got these two people with their guns pointed, towards the ground, towards him. The man could die any minute if he doesn't read from the script. Similarly, look at Baradar. Same pointing of the video, same distance of the person. Gun is pointed eerily towards him. The gunman is looking at him. He's supposed to be a deputy prime minister, for God's sake. And he's been given a script. And I'm being asked by the Pakistanis, what's wrong? Well, you have a deputy prime minister who has been taken hostage, for God's sake. A deputy prime minister is captive in his own country. And you're asking me.
3rd of September was Friday.
Yeah.
And on 3rd of September, the structure of the cabinet was being discussed in the presidential palace. There was a dissension, there was a difference in opinion between the Haqqani and the Taliban primarily, and Mr. Baradar, the deputy prime minister, so-called the interim deputy prime minister, had a very strong view that this structure was not acceptable. If some of you in the panel or co-panelists are aware of this, please come out, because ultimately the aim of this debate is to come to a viable takeaway so that peace and harmony returns to Afghanistan at the earliest. I have been told by very, very reliable sources that it led to a very violent clash wherein the interim deputy prime minister was beaten up and he was badly injured. So as Akhundzada, both of them were rushed to the nearest medical unit. And some people said that he has been taken to Peshawar hospital. But today morning, one of the sources told me, I haven't understood the logic. They have been found in Kandahar. It was actually sounding very ridiculous. Suffice to say that the picture which is coming out, giving out a written statement at gunpoint, to me, two of the people who are experts in neuro-linguistic programming have indicated that it could be a look-alike. I have dismissed this particular suggestion. It could be a look-alike of Mr. Baradar. He may not be the actual one, number one, because Mr. Baradar in his lifetime has never referred to a script. If anyone of you has seen him reading from a script, please bring it out. This is for the first time he's been seen reading out from the script. Number two, when he was in the hospital, he was still being kept under the captivity. Number three, just to give a statement, because they have come under pressure from China, nobody other than China. China is putting pressure on the Taliban government to stabilize and show some signs of equilibrium so that they can come in a significant manner and commence their work on CPEC and digging off the copper mine.
Question number one. If criminals want to carry out a crime, do they wear a uniform and carry out the crime? In this case, look at the pictures. All the people who brought their own car to break their own car were wearing Samajwadi Party caps. Can we have a look at those pictures full frame, please? Because Manish is completely distracted. So my question is, can I show the pictures full frame, please? Look at the pictures, viewers. Why were they wearing red Samajwadi Party caps? It is like they were all deliberately wanting to be noticed. They were wearing Samajwadi Party masks, Samajwadi Party caps, and dressed up with waistcoats. So everybody could identify them as Samajwadi Party leaders breaking a BJP car. So please answer tonight, Manish, why were they all wearing Samajwadi Party caps while breaking a quote-unquote BJP car? Two, why was this done just before the Prime Minister's rally in Kanpur? 3, were the people who were wearing the Samajwadi caps, were they Samajwadi Party leaders or not? 4, why was the video taken and then circulated? Was it done, the video shot and circulated, to provoke and incite BJP workers or not? And therefore, 5, was there an attempt at creating violence before the UP elections? These are very straightforward questions, Manish. Instead of taking things in a lighter vein, आप सीधा जवाब दे तो अच्छा होगा. आप सीधा जवाब दीजिए. 5 सवाल के, प्लीज.
अर्नब सर, मैं बहुत सीरियसली जवाब दूंगा और आप प्लीज मुझे इंटरप्ट ना कीजिएगा. अगले 30 सेकंड सिर्फ 30 सेकंड्स में आपसे अनइंटरप्टेड मांग रहा हूं. सर, मैं ऑफिशियली आपको दिखा सकता हूं, मेरे पास पुलिस कंप्लेन का कॉपी है. लास्ट मंथ मेरे स्कूटर को एक गाड़ी ने हिट किया जिसके ऊपर बीजेपी का फ्लैग लगा हुआ था, और बाय द कोइंसिडेंस ओनली, मैं इस चीज को ऑन एयर बोल रहा हूं नेशनल चैनल के ऊपर, बाय द कोइंसिडेंस ओनली ड्राइवर का सरनेम मोदी था. मैं ये क्लेम नहीं कर सकता कि रेस्पेक्टेड प्राइम मिनिस्टर से उनका कोई लेना देना है. आप एक आदमी ने जिसने लाल टोपी लगाई है, किसी गाड़ी तोड़ दी, आप उसको नेशनल राइट्स के साथ जोड़ रहे हैं सर. आप नेशनल राइट्स के साथ जोड़ रहे हैं सर. एक गाड़ी तोड़ी है, मैं उसकी बिल्कुल मैं कंडेम करता हूं इस तरीके की किसी भी वायलेशन को. कोई भी ऐसा कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन आप उसको वर्ल्ड वॉर और राइट्स इन सब के साथ जोड़ेंगे सर, ये अनफॉर्चुनेटली ठीक नहीं है. आपका जो पॉइंट था पीयूष जैन के घर से कैश रिकवर होना, उसके लिए डिबेट आप करें, बहुत अच्छी बात है सर, आप एक बहुत सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट हैं, बीजेपी के बड़े सीरियस प्रवक्ता यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, लेकिन इस तरीके की बात करेंगे ये समझ से बाहर है सर। एक लाल टोपी वाला किसी की गाड़ी तोड़ देता है मुस्लिम एरिया में तो वो राइट्स हो गए सर। कल को मेरे घर के पास किसी ने पटाखा चला दिया, वो वर्ल्ड वॉर हो जाएगी क्या? आप कैसी बात करते हैं? एक मोदी सरनेम वाला आदमी मेरे स्कूटर को टक्कर मार दे तो क्या नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने भेज दिया? मैं ऐसा नहीं कहता, लेकिन आप लोग ऐसा कहते हैं, आप लोग ऐसा दिखाना चाहते हैं। आप लोगों को शर्म आनी चाहिए सब बात करते हुए। बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बात कर रहे हैं और संजू दीदी को मैंने दीदी बोल दिया तो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड फील कर रही हैं। अरे मैं दीदी बोल रहा हूँ, आपके पैर छू रहा हूँ, दीदी बोलने में काय की शर्मिंदगी है? आप यहाँ बैठी सभी महिलाएं मेरी दीदी।
Okay, Manish now, Sanju is responding to you. Sanju respond करिए, 1 minute.
May I please now? He spoke uninterruptedly. Let me tell you, let's not
she is my elder sister. मैं अभी भी इस बात पे कहता हूँ, वो मेरी बहन है, वो माने नहीं माने।
Okay, Manish now, Manish आपकी बात मैंने सुनी, उन्होंने भी सुनी, अब जवाब देने दे, please. Thank you.
Can you ask this hooligan to please
calm down? Sanju, respond.
Thank you. Yes. First and foremost, let's not second guess the investigative agencies. The IG and the DIG of Uttar Pradesh have categorically said that more than CCTV proof, there are eyewitnesses and there's ample evidence to not suggest, but to nail the 5 student wing and Chhatra Sabha leaders of the Samajwadi Party, including senior leaders like Sachin Kesarwani and Ankur Patel. So point number 1, Samajwadi Party is behind the vandalization of the PM's convoy. लाल टोपी पहनो ना पहनो, आपकी फितरत है आतंक। लाल टोपी पहनो ना पहनो, गुंडावादी पार्टी की फितरत में गुंडागर्दी लिखी हुई है। गुंडावादी पार्टी की फितरत में गुंडागर्दी लिखी हुई है। आप एक लूटवादी पार्टी हो।
दीदी हम टोपी पहनते हैं, आप टोपी पहनाते हो, यही फर्क है।
रिजू as a reporter, I used to follow Amrinder Singh when he went on campaigns, you know. I've traveled with him in his open jeeps, in his choppers, reporting. I can tell you one thing, even his worst critics will admit that the man is at a personal level very popular. You will also admit, he's a very popular leader, he is respected.
No doubt.
He is respected and he's a nationalist. You may not like his style of functioning, but he has decency. Like Sohail will also, anyone who knows Amrinder will say, he's a decent human being, he's popular at a personal level. And I think Sohail, where the Congress party did wrong to him, is the way they treated him. You know, they treated him with contempt, they insulted him, and they were not grateful. See, Sohail, in politics, Amrinder, he took the Congress vote share of 38%. In 2017, he took it to 41% in 2019. When the Congress party, when the Vadra family tanked everywhere, he ensured that the party did very well in Punjab. I'm not saying you say thank you, but you at least don't treat a person who is so popular, who has done your party so much good. You can't grudge him his success.
So you, Navjot Sidhu and Rahul Gandhi are made for each other. Ingratitude is the birthmark. Navjot Sidhu was ungrateful to Arun Jaitley. He was ungrateful to the BJP. He has been ungrateful to the Congress. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka trusted him, gave him the presidency, much to the disappointment and rightful disappointment of Amrinder Singh. That man turned turtle again. Rahul Gandhi needs to learn one simple lesson. Never go to bed with an elephant. You never know when the elephant rolls over and the pleasure turns into pain. Swat Saab, who I have a lot of respect for, said that BJP is a communal party. Swat Saab, as a proud Sikh, and I'm a Punjabi, as a proud Sikh, have you forgotten Blue Star? Have you forgotten Blue Star? Have you forgotten 1984? What happened on October 31, November 1 and November 2? You're sitting representing the Congress, whose Prime Minister said, when a tree falls, the earth shakes. Have you forgotten that? I am ashamed, at least being a proud Sikh, history, community, both are very, very important. What is shocking today, Arnab, is that they have allowed a beautiful state, a valiant state, Punjab, slide into regression because of the circus that the Congress is continuing to create there. I really don't care where Amrinder goes. It is, as rightly said, Arnab, it's about treating people with grace. You know who doesn't treat people with grace? People who believe that they have it all. The indictment of Rahul Gandhi, the entitlement of Priyanka Vara comes in the way of their being gracious.
Yes.
Gracious is a pedigree issue.
Yeah.
Gracious is not a power issue.
Yeah.
I'm delighted that Amrinder has walked out.
Yeah.
Because you don't treat anyone with
Yeah.
disrespect, especially someone who is a nationalist, who has given up his life to the party. You know,
Yes.
I just think
Yes,
sets
yes.
us up, sets us up,
Absolutely.
also needs to be gracious.
Yeah.
You don't call someone
Thanks a lot. Thanks a
I-
lot for praising Captain Amrinder Singh. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Now let me speak. Let me speak. Thanks a lot for praising Captain Amrinder Singh. Yes, he is a nationalist. That's why he is a senior leader in the Congress. Yes, even yesterday he was senior leader. Even today he is senior leader in the Congress party. That's why the Congress party made him chief minister for more than 9 years. More than 9 years. He became chief minister on the platform of Congress party. Yes, we respect him today also. Even today we respect him. But nobody, no individual is bigger than party.
He has never said so.
No individual is bigger
He
than
has
party.
never
When
said
the
so.
Party takes a decision. He himself said so. He himself said so.
Ratan
He
Sharma.
himself said so. When the meetings took place.
No, you're not. No, watch it. We have Abhishek Sudhir also wanting to come into the debate. 1 minute, Mr. Swech. Abhishek Sudhir has not come into the debate, and neither has Professor Ashutosh Kumar. 1 minute. Mr. Swech, Sanju, 1 minute. Some order.
Mr. Goswami.
See, just 1 minute, Mr. Sudhir. Just an intervention, and I'm coming to you, Mr. Sudhir. 1 second. You see the brother-sister duo of Rahul and Priyanka Vadra are today unprecedented flops. Let us keep that aside. The fact of the matter is, everyone's quitting the Congress, and almost everyone is going to the BJP. Abhishek, keep in mind, they are not going to the Samajwadi Party. They are going to the BJP. Then some are going to the Aam Aadmi Party, and some of late,
Goswami,
are going to the TMC. No, question is, see, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Jitin Prasad, Himanta Biswa Sarma, Narayan Rane,
my point is,
Amrinder Singh. No, there's no point. The party you hate, so terribly, the BJP is growing stronger with. Why is everyone going to the BJP every day? Just tell me. It can't just be because they are in power. Right? No, 1 minute. Let me hear it from Abhishek.
I'll tell you. The problem is all the people you've named.
Yes.
Yeah. All the people you've named also have hated the BJP, but overnight fall in love with the BJP because the BJP says, I'll make you a minister. Now, in the Samajwadi Party, as far as I know as an observer, it's the rank and file of the party that are promoted. Today, the ordinary BJP worker must be thinking, Jitin Prasada in Uttar Pradesh has been made a cabinet minister, has been made a minister. What ties does Jitin Prasada have to the BJP? That ordinary karyakarta, that RSS worker who toils in rural Uttar Pradesh.
Come on, stop trying to provoke. Stop trying to provoke. Poor attempt.
Come in on that, please.
I am not provoking. Come on.
The BJP is.
I am just saying the BJP has become a party of turncoats.
This is open war. And I think the most important thing that if there is a war is for everyone to acknowledge it. Virat Kohli to acknowledge there is a war, the BCCI to acknowledge there is a war, and not pretending anymore that everything is good in Indian cricket. If Virat Kohli is at war after being dropped as the ODI captain, I think he should say it clearly that he's at war instead of doing these online news conferences. And I think the BCCI also needs to explain what really this fight is about. What do you think, Niranjan Shah?
I think what has happened is unnecessary blown out. when Virat Kohli just today said that he is available for the one-day series and he will play under Rohit Sharma, who has been made captain for the white ball, I think most of the controversy is died down. Anyway, a game is greater than anybody. The institute is greater than anybody. So even Virat Kohli is made by this institute and made by this game.
So
So
let's not try to be too diplomatic about it. No, let's not be diplomatic about it. You are saying it has died down. It has not died down. It is very much open. If I open the phone lines, you'll realize it's open a war, open fight. Virat Kohli is accusing the BCCI. He's attacking them. He's saying that the BCCI contacted me 1.5 hours before the selection meeting and there was no prior communication at all.
Wrong there. See, you have been made captain.
What is wrong?
Your job is there will be going on, and now BCCI think, selection committees think there is another captain is necessary for the white ball. Why not? Why you try to become a greater than game? That is what my contention. I think.
Exactly. Can you explain what you mean by saying greater than the game? Can you explain what you mean by saying greater than the game when you're saying in the context of Virat Kohli that nobody should try to become greater than the game? Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, 100%. Game is great, and game made you Virat Kohli. The game has made you Virat Kohli, not Virat Kohli has made the game. So I think what BCCI has taken decision is a regular decision. Always captain change after certain years. There are instances before that, so I don't think anything unusual in this whole matter.
He's saying that the sense Virat Kohli seems to be getting is that he's become bigger than the game.
Frankly, Arnab, I think with due respect to Mr. Niranjan Shah, he's on a completely different pitch here. Because unfortunately, what he's talking about, he's trying to obviously look after the BCCI, and rightly so. Nothing wrong with that because he's worked for them. But here, if you look at Virat Kohli's statement and the way he's come out, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. This man is extremely dignified. Like everybody else, he has come out just to clear the controversy that is, like you rightly said, this big controversy about him being, asked that he's not going to be playing the one-day matches and everything. He's actually come out and said, no, I'm available. This man wears his heart on his sleeve. This man loves Indian cricket and he will play really well under Rohit Sharma. So for BCCI, where they have gone wrong here, I personally believe that they should have come out and with Ganguly saying that, he spoke to Virat. Virat is clearly saying that nobody spoke to him before. It was only 90 minutes before that they spoke to him. So it is unfair for us to
I have enough proof to say that he was told earlier.
Okay, let me just finish and then you can take over. It's all yours after that. But I'm just saying what Virat Kohli has done is absolutely nothing wrong with what he's done because he's spoken from his heart. He has said, this is what I believe. I'm available to play for India. Rohit Sharma is a good one-day captain. I will play under him. And there's no controversy in that. There's nothing wrong with him coming out. Now, unfortunately, it's BCCI's turn to come and say something and back him. Why would BCCI not want to back Virat Kohli? He's India's captain, for God's sake. You need to back this man. You can't fight against him. Both of them, BCCI and Virat Kohli, have to work together to make India one. Arnab, you yourself said it earlier at the start of this show. You put it so articulately well that you said that This is about India. This is not about one man and not about BCCI. This is about India playing well together. So let's BCCI and Virat Kohli patch up because I think Virat Kohli has done nothing wrong.
No, I mean, you say you have proof. That Virat Kohli is lying. Himanshu?
Yeah, September 16th.
Go on, counter, please. Let's have an open debate.
We have enough tweet. You have statements of people. We have September 16th, we have enough statement where, Rajiv Shukla, Harsha Bogle, Jay Shah, everybody said that Rohit Sharma is the next captain. Where is the confusion? I don't understand. It is very clear. It is right and open, black and white. I haven't tweeted. The tweets are there. The congratulations are there. There are enough, about 8,000 replies on the tweets and the forwards saying that Rohit Sharma is the captain for both the white balls. And on the 8th again, you had so many people saying that. Now suddenly you erupt 90-minute controversy. What is a 90-minute controversy? I don't understand. Because you knew this coming much before. The secretary of the BCCI has clearly said that this is a 6-month deliberation. They had spoken to Virat Kohli about it. Virat Kohli in his own letter said that I'm stepping
No, he's
down
saying that didn't happen.
It is
No,
the
Virat Kohli is
prerogative
saying,
of
Ashok,
the BCCI
Ashok
to allow
Chandrasekhar
me to
Luthra, all
continue
feel
or
free
not
to come in.
continue.
Hemant, feel free to come in. It's a... No, one second. It's quite clear that all of us cannot be correct here, right? Virat Kohli is saying that this is rubbish. The BCCI did not tell me. He's insinuating the BCCI kept him in the dark, that Rohit Sharma was going to take over, and he has gone public with it. Right? And Alan Sippy says it's for the BCCI now to decide whether it wants to work with Virat Kohli or not. Viewers, this morning, Maharashtra minister, the controversial, every day he puts out something. This is the picture Nawab Malik put out of Amrita Fadnavis. Now, the still picture, the man there is a person called Jaideep Rana, and he's in jail now for drug trafficking charges. Amrita Fadnavis happened to be recording a song to save 4 of Mumbai's rivers that go through Mumbai. And it so happened that this individual was one of the people in the crew of the production people who were running the song, who were organizing the recording of the song. There's no direct connection with him, but of course, Nawab Malik being Nawab Malik drew all the conclusions he wanted to at that time. Tell me, Amrita Fadnavis, I asked you whether you're going to take this lying down. Do you intend to take any action against Nawab Malik for this?
Definitely, you'll see it in the coming days. That would be from my side personally. I am not aware what politically actions would be taken. That's their game. But this is my action which I will take as an individual, as a self-respecting banker, singer, social activist who wants to work for the society relentlessly.
So you're saying you're doing this on your own. You're not. This is not political action. This is Amrita Fadnavis's response.
As an individual,
this is not a BJP supported response or
no BJP, no
a proxy
party
for Devendra Fadnavis. You on your own.
This is me on my own, and this is more for the people who have worked without any expectations, the machuaras, the dabbewalas, who join hands with us to showcase the bottlenecks. This is गाली दी है नवाब मलिक जी ने इन लोगों को, और इसका जवाब आई विल गिव पर्सनली।
मगर क्या आप इसको मतलब जैसे लोग समझते हैं कि आप डर जाएंगे, उन्होंने आपकी तरफ पत्थर फेंका है तो शायद आप हट जाएंगी। आप लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि some people are saying that if you take on Nawab Malik he'll throw more stones at you. Is that the way you think?
See, he has to see his house first, which is made of glasses. My house is spick and span, so I'm not worried.
You're saying he should be worried?
He should be worried.
But you're not going to just let this go?
Personally, and for
I'm asking
people,
you personally.
Personally, and for people who have participated without any expectations in this rejuvenation project, I'm doing this for them.
Ms. Fadnavis, is it the first time you've been targeted? Even way back in 2018, there was a comment from you where you had said, I agree I'm a soft target, but that does not make me soft.
Since I have come to Mumbai, I have been targeted for some reason or the other. It can be just a bindi, it can be just a gesture, or n number of reasons are there for which I have been targeted, but I do not mind since it was on personal level. But this was a social activity, and that's why I will retaliate.
So you're used to being targeted. I mean, why? You think it's to get at your husband?
That might be one of the reasons, that point of time. And another reasons is women who speak up get targeted at times in our society.
How does this, just explain this in this context of the present.
When you have a viewpoint, you get targeted. When you are working for some cause, and especially when you are politically connected, they want to bog you down because they want to showcase the whole family as a family which is just working for some kind of money or fame. But when you are working without any intentions, that cannot be digested by people.
So you're saying the expectation from you is that you should not have been a professional, you should not be in a senior position in a bank, you should not have any occupation of your own.
That's what I feel. But all this goes personal. I have taken it very positively, but this time no. because it's on my credibility as a social worker, as the credibility on the work of the people who have joined us. Isha Foundation, it's a dot on their, it's a this thing on their credibility. It can be River March, it can be Rally for Rivers. These all are working towards rivers.
What you've just said, you've said that Isha Foundation, while making its video, used the same people to work for them.
Yes.
So by that logic, is Nawab Malik trying to put questions at the Isha Foundation as well?
They would not, because politically they would not gain out of them. In fact, they would lose votes. So Devendra ji was a better target for them. Now
Devendra Fadnavis has said today that, he said that, I have the quote here, he said that Nawab Malik has dropped a Lavangi Pataka. I will drop a bomb. I will drop a bomb after Diwali. What does that mean?
So as I said, I'm individual and I'm different from Devendra Fadnavis, the politician. I do not know politically what games are going on, and I'm towards Devenji's side in this too, because I know he's towards the right side. But other than this, I'm not aware of this Lavangi or Fuska Fataka. I have no idea. I'm talking
He said
about
he will burst a bomb after Diwali.
Let's see, Diwali is just
around the corner.
Around the corner.
Mr. Mattu is the mayor of Srinagar, made some very straightforward comments today. You said that the people whose hands are drenched in blood are people who have given social sanction to the terrorists, both those outside on the other side of the border and those inside. Mr. Mattu, who are those elements inside that you were referring to? Who are these elements inside you were referring to who are giving social sanction? Are you saying Omar Abdullah is giving them social sanction by not calling them terrorists?
Well, I took, a National Conference spokesperson has just tweeted that Junaid Mattu is, exhibiting his servitude by saying that they should be called terrorists. Willy-nilly, National Conference is saying, no, they are not terrorists, they are militants. So obviously, Mehbooba Mufti went to Makhanlal Bindru's house, and her condemnation there wasn't unequivocal too. Wahan pe bhi, she had to make a demand for talks with Pakistan. So obviously, I'm very clear about this fact. I don't need to take names to prove it. Everybody knows that. I'm very unequivocal about the fact that terrorism has no shades, hues or justifications. Anybody from NC or PDP, anybody from the traditional mainstream who says that haan ye galat hua, lekin, wo lekin hai, wo equivocal hai. That but is equivocal. This is terrorism, this is barbarism. They want to fragment our society. They want to target people of a certain political opinion. Yeah. They want to target minorities. And they want to intimidate, harass and hound minorities. They've always had that mindset. They've always had that in their hearts. And, sometimes they can't achieve their nefarious designs. And unfortunately, during the past 2 days, they were able to do that.
Well, victims of terrorism have no religion, but do you believe that that people from the minority community in Kashmir are being targeted now? Sikhs and Hindus, to be precise.
If you shy away from that, why was Makhanlal Bindru killed? Why was Supinder Kaur killed and taken out of a line? Why was Deepak Chand taken out of a line? There were 8 or 10 teachers there. All those teachers were present. You said that they were killed for saluting the tricolour. All those 8 or 10 teachers were present on the 15th of August function in that school. Why were these two singled out? Arnab, I think even asking this question is contemptuous and unacceptable at this moment. Of course they were targeted because of their religion. Of course they were targeted because they were minorities. When political workers and activists are killed, they are targeted because they believe in the political mainstream. So, they're intolerant about people of different ethnicities. They are intolerant about Kashmiri Muslims who espouse an idea of the mainstream or the idea of India. A Kashmiri Muslim was killed in Naid Khai, Mr. Lone in Bandipora 2 days ago. We've been losing Kashmiri civilians, mainly political mainstream activists, consistently over the past few months. But these killings, that of Makhanlal Bindru, of Supinder Kaur and Deepak Chand and Virinder Paswan, the Golgappe street vendor who was killed in Lal Bazar, they were targeted killings with a specific mindset with a specific aim and a specific goal to intimidate the minorities, to drive a wedge between different communities in Kashmir. Arnab, I am not scared of anybody except the Almighty. I've never been scared, and I will never be scared. The fact of the matter is that somebody else asked me this a few moments ago. Only two political families, despite me being the mayor, the only two political families are adequately protected by the police in Kashmir, and those are the Abdullahs and Muftis. And they still can't gather the courage to call a spade a spade. They are the most protected people in Kashmir. I am not adequately protected. If anything, I am cosmetically protected. But that will never stop me from calling a spade a spade. Then why are we in politics? If we cannot rise up to the occasion, if we can't demonstrate leadership and courage of conviction on tragic instances like this, when innocents are gunned down, when our daughters, when our sons, our brothers are executed while they have gone to teach in schools, then we should not aspire for leadership roles. So yeah, I do live under a constant threat to my life. My family isn't protected. My family lives under a constant threat to their life. I doubt the police will ever adequately protect me or my family. They are busy protecting the Abdullahs and the Muftis for reasons best known to them. But that should never stop us from calling a spade, because the costs of ambiguity have been borne by my generation. The costs of confusion, the costs of ideological chaos have been borne by my generation. We've lost one generation. We can't afford to lose one generation. This is not about my individual safety. The moment we refuse to call terrorism terrorism, you can have any political ideas or political views. The idea of India can accommodate differences and contrarian opinions. You can agree with what happened on 5th of August. You can disagree with what happened on 5th of August. But if somebody who executes an unarmed woman, somebody who executes an unarmed teacher in a school, or a chemist who has served the society for 30 years, or a poor street vendor from Bihar, जिसकी गलती सिर्फ ये थी कि वो अपनी रोजी रोटी कमा रहा था, अगर आप उनको भी टेररिस्ट नहीं बोल सकते हो, तो फिर आपके होने पे ही शर्म है. Then you should sit at homes. Then you should not aspire to be in politics. At least call them terrorists. At least say that this is an act, हैवानियत का act है. This is barbarism. And when you say that, don't intersperse that with politics. Don't intersperse that with political statements. आपको बोलना है कि बातचीत होनी चाहिए. आपको बोलना है कि political, वो अलग बोलिए ना. जब यहां आप जाएंगे, जब ये एक मातम बन रहा होगा, एक घर को उजाड़ दिया गया होगा बारबैरिकली, वहां पे कम से कम ये गैरत रखिए कि वहां पे ये बोलिए कि ये एक्ट ऑफ टेरर था, ये टेररिज्म है, पीरियड. इसके पीछे कुछ नहीं है, इसके आगे कुछ नहीं है.
Timing of the press conference being questioned by some, Ravi Shankar Prasad. They're saying, okay, why is the BJP pushing the point so hard? Is it aimed at the state elections? Why is Ravi Shankar Prasad slamming Mamta Banerjee for casting suspicions on the Delhi police in the Batla case? The question is on timing. That's the first question. So I want you to address that before we move on.
Arnab, I'm happy you have asked me this question. This trial was pending for 13 years. The most diabolical terrorist attack in the heart of capital of India, Delhi, India Gate, Connaught Place, Greater Kailash, all were under attack. 39 people died. 100 were critically injured. Thereafter, Batla House instance, they had gone in plainclothes to nab some of the Indian Mujahideen activists, and there Mohan Chand Sharma was killed. What happens thereafter? A chorus campaign started. It is a fake encounter. And Digvijay Singh went to Azamgarh and said, Goli sar mein lagi hai, ye fake encounter hai. Mr. Salman Khurshid started saying ki Madam Sonia Gandhi started crying. Mamta ji goes there in October and publicly announces it is a fake encounter. If I am proved wrong, I will take sannyas from politics. Today, after 13 years, a regular court, after examining 100 evidences, including clinical, digital, medical evidence, has come to the conclusion it is a terrorist act. And the entire attack on Mohan Chand Sharma is proved beyond doubt. Why should not I raise this question today? When the entire morale of the police force was going to be completely compromised. I know it or no, you have been raising this issue. Delhi police people used to indirectly approach us, please save us. We are being painted as a villain. And the same government was giving Ashok Chakra to a brave Mohanchand Sharma. Therefore, we kept quiet. Today, when the judgment came, we have raised this question. And we shall continue to raise this question. It is not election-centric. Was it not was the same attitude not adopted in case of Afzal Guru?
It's not
in
only,
case of Menon?
Not only the politicians. It's not only the politicians. There was an attempt at covering fire to terrorists in the heart of the national capital. Let's talk about that, Ravi Shankar Prasad. And those who were giving covering fire were the so-called, quote-unquote, many journalists of the Lutyens media and the so-called intellectuals. That was what was happening at that point of time. So Batla House became a metaphor for appeasement politics in India, Mr. Prasad. We must talk about that straight and point the finger back now.
I totally agree with you. I have raised that issue for those political leaders who were so blatant. But yes, the journalists who were raising questions, there were editorials, there were debate, all need some explanation today. Therefore, Arnab, again I am repeating, 100 oral evidence, medical evidence, digital evidence, forensic evidence, including the cloth of Mohan Sharma, having the mark of the bullet entry, the voice samples, a foolproof case, and the judge came to the conclusion the case has been proved beyond the shadow of doubt. It is a terrorist attack which we are designed to create mayhem in the entire country and in Delhi. Therefore, Arnab, it is beyond election, and let me elevate it to more higher level. You have campaigned for this in a very stronger manner. What happened in case of Uri? They were seeking evidence about Uri. What happened in case of Balakot? They were seeking evidence about Balakot from armed forces. And today I want to raise this issue on your channel. A brave Muslim second lieutenant undergoing training in NDA Khadagwasla had gone to attend the marriage of his cousin brother. He was snatched away from the Bharat and killed by terrorists. Did any one of these gentlemen raise a finger of protest? That Aurangzeb, a brave Kashmir police jawan who was killed by the terrorist, his father said, मेरे दो और जवान बेटे हैं, उनको भी आर्मी में भेजूंगा. Did they raise any voice? So today is the occasion to expose this double standard, hypocrisy, and the worst form of appeasement politics only and only for vote at the cost of national security. Why not? And that's what I raised today in the press conference.
The question is, Rakesh Challa is on, Savio is on, Sushil Pandit is on. The question people are asking is, the man has run away, right? He has vanished. He's become a proclaimed offender. You say you can't find him. None of the agencies say we know his location. He cocks a snook, switches off his phone, then comes back. What is to say of the evidence that has been destroyed? How many, I repeat, how many citizens of this country are in jail for the fear that if they were out, then evidence would be destroyed? There are reports of him deleting messaging apps. What is to say of the evidence that was destroyed? And I want to ask you, what is going on? You know, a proclaimed offender accused by a cyber expert in his witness statement of tampering with evidence and providing an alibi to Sachin Waze in the Antilia case, which is a case of extortion and murder. How can we be allowed to choose his date of appearance? The question is not by me. Citizens are asking. Rakesh Challa, Savio, citizens of India are asking this question louder than I am. Louder than I am tonight. It's become a case in point. This specific case, Rakesh Challa, it's a talking point from Jammu to Gandhinagar to Guwahati.
Arnab.
Everyone's talking about this. Yes, please. Rakesh Challa.
Yeah, Arnab. Yes. Arnab, today I want to, I see it's very fashionable these days to talk of two Indias, and that was on display today. The Prime Minister laid the foundation for the world's 4th largest airport. And here what's happening in the financial capital of the country. Ex-police commissioner, the sitting Director General of Police is being interrogated for extortion. His boss is in jail. And his boss's boss is not speaking anything. And this is the irony of the common Indian. This is the irony of the
It's about faith.
Mumbaikar. I feel sad today for the Mumbaikars. I'm glad I'm not in Mumbai. But this is what is happening. And they say we forgot to do that. And they get away with it. And not only that, Arnab, you're the only channel which is covering it. Please go and see other channels. Nobody is covering it. Nobody is questioning them. Nobody is telling them.
No, they are.
It's a shameful, disgraceful. When that stupid comedian made fun of the country talking about two Indians, entire Latvian's media was there. Today, the two Indians, we are getting humiliated in the eyes of the world. Nobody is saying anything. They have brought disgrace to the country.
It's a true, sad case set of affairs. I think
people abroad saying you're building these airports. We'll come to India. You will extort us.
No, this is very. Yeah. The imagery is very sad, and you mentioned the media. Shehzad wants to add something there. I will say one point out here, and Savio knows this better. I'll choose my words carefully, but I think the apparent collaboration between the Latvians media and Parambir has been one of the worst cases in the history of Indian media. It's a low point for the Indian media. I won't say anything more. But today I do know that there was two particular channels which landed loyally at the airport. How did they know where Parambir was, Savio? They landed loyally at the airport. How did they know where he took off and how he landed? The whole country, the agencies, Savio, the agencies say we have no clue where the man is. But there are some media houses which know not just where he is, but when he lands and which exit gate he'll come out from the airport. It's disgraceful. Yes, please.
Arnab, the most important aspect that we need to pay attention to is that he was the Mumbai police commissioner. He was no ordinary policeman. And most importantly, that we keep talking about, he is not a common man. Arnab, as a Mumbai police commissioner, please understand he would have had equitable relationships with people in political circles across party lines. Not just one party, across party lines. That's why it is important to thoroughly investigate the allegations against him, because there could be more than what meets the eye.
I'll answer after Savio.
And the cesspool could have more stink than what India has witnessed before. But the most important thing we need to understand is that Parambir came out from wherever he was hiding to face the law. And that is why it is important for us to get down to investigating how deep this nexus goes. He was to come before the court before December 18. Otherwise, he would have been declared and as an absconder. But he's come. So now the investigative agencies must ensure what the truth is. Because he's not a common man. Stop referring to the common man analogy.
No, he's not.
This man is a man who had power. This man is a man who had relationships with political parties across. And that is why, if we want to have a better India, we must understand the cesspool and we need to clean that up. And that starts with Parambir's investigation.
Is there some fixed match? Shehzad, tell Sushil Pandit, is there a fixed match at some level of all parties here? Because that's what he's indicating. That's what Savio is indicating, that this is some kind of fixed match. Which citizen will be allowed to stay undercover for 231 days? Which citizen, if he's facing 3 non-bailable warrants, 5 FIRs, where the charges range as seriously from extortion to the Arms Act, will be treated this way? Sushil asked that question. Which citizen will be treated this way? Sushil asked that question of the politicians. Then I'll take it forward. Who will? Will you? Will anyone?
Arnab, let me.
Shehzad, I'm coming to you. I just want to get Sushil in and then we'll go back to the political debate.
All this
because you went around Savio
Arnab,
and you
all
told me you're
this
going to come to me,
lament,
but now you've gone to Sushil.
all
so if
this
I can come in,
disbelief,
Sushil comes in.
all these questions that you are asking have only one answer. To a common citizen, as I see, there is a collusion between the criminal justice system, the law enforcement system, and the political system that is ruling the executive and taking decisions. It is an unmistakable collusion of interests and an orchestration which is leading to complete subversion. Our system has been short-circuited, and what you see is a brazen, shameless dance of power, patronage and pelf in our eyes, in front of our eyes. We are being
Power and
subverted
patronage,
from within. The powerful are getting away with their relationships, and they are so powerful that common citizen can be dragged out of his house in the wee hours of the morning barefoot with impunity. He can go and rail against an entire media system. He can go collude in extortion. He could be part of collusion in murder conspiracies and yet get away with it because you have friends in the high places. You have conversion of interest. You can lie low, hide for 231 days, and then Supreme Court treats you with kid gloves. This is the epitome of perversion prevailing in our system. Let there be no mistaking it. And
well,
I wouldn't. Those who are in the power are complicit.
Viewers, today, currently, the Chief Minister of Assam was from the Congress. Chief Minister of Manipur, Tom, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, all ex-Congress leaders who were mistreated by the party. In life and in politics, nobody likes to be humiliated. Let me say Tom Wadakan, sitting on the panel tonight, Mr. Kingra, right? When we started our political career in 1995, was a picture of a Congress party and Gandhi family loyalist. But what is happening is, the family is insulting and humiliating people, treating them with contempt. Senior party leaders, topmost opposition leaders say that when you go to meet Sonia Gandhi, it is, like you're going to meet a regent. This is inappropriate. In today's aspirations, nobody accepts it. These things matter. Times have changed. Riju on the debate. Riju Datta.
Yeah. I just want to start off by saying to Mr. Kingra that All India Trinamool Congress is a national party which is recognized by the Election Commission of India. I just want to start off by saying that. Now, we started from Bengal, but we are expanding into Tripura. We are going to Goa. We are not the enemy of the Indian National Congress. But you have to understand, sir, you need to keep your flock together. Congress has failed the people of Goa. The people of Goa voted for Congress, but they have failed. They have failed the people of this country, and this country is looking for a credible alternative. And that credible alternative right now is Mamata Banerjee and Trinamool Congress. We have nothing against you. Congress has become like a party of zamindars who are living in their bungalow but without the zamins. And oh, I'm sorry, the bungalow is even rented. So you have to face the reality. You cannot humiliate your allies, you cannot mistreat them, and you point a finger at other parties. We are expanding. We are not, poaching anybody. We have a consolidated mission, a straightforward agenda to oust the BJP in 2024. Now, all political parties and people who align with any political parties, who align with our vision going into 2024 to remove anti-people BJP from the center, is welcome in our party. It is you who has to take the responsibility and introspect to keep your herd together. It is not on us. We will expand, we will grow grow, and
Yeah.
we will challenge the BJP at the national level. And that is why I say, at the end of the day, it is Mamata Banerjee who is going to challenge BJP head-on, because Congress is being defeated
There
by
you
BJP
are.
in the last 7 years, and Trinamool Congress has successfully defeated BJP in the last 7 years. That is why we are the most credible alternative in this country right now.
You see, it's very
You need to
interesting here.
introspect.
Very,
You
very,
need to
very
come out
interesting
of
here,
your
Riju.
rented bungalows and armchairs.
Yeah, what I find here, Riju, very interesting aspects are emerging in the course of this debate. You see, Tom, read the signals. Till 6 months back, the question was, Brijmohan Srivastav, oh, but you know, you can never come together to take on the BJP. Oh, but you people can't unite to take on the BJP. Oh, but who will be the leader? A lot of those questions emerged from an assumption that the center of an anti-BJP alliance would have to be the Congress. Right, Mr. Srivastav? Till now, everybody was saying, oh, but because the Congress itself gets just 50 seats, and presumably it will do worse, so there's no chance of any challenge, because there's no centrifugal force. Now, Mr. Srivastav, people are saying, Congress is over. The question is who takes that space in the next 6 months. Tell me, is the NCP also in the game to expand? What will be the role of your party leader, Mr. Sharad Pawar? Mr. Sharad Pawar had a meeting, but it didn't really take off after that. He had a meeting of some anti-BJP minded people. Your party leader clearly is uncomfortable with the Congress thinking it is at the center. He has made statements critical of the Congress recently. We must not tolerate this anymore. And you may call me intolerant, you may call me a right-winger, but we cannot tolerate this anymore, because there is a campaign to malign India. Certain Lutyens media journalists, that I would like to bring in Nalin and Pankaj into the debate, drew a parallel to Babri Masjid. And they said the following: yes, this is America's Babri Masjid demolition moment. But get down from your moral high horse, because we accomplished this much before America did. I don't get it. Can someone explain this verbal insanity, Pankaj? Why don't you explain this verbal insanity to Nalin Kohli? Let's debate this. Because you want Modi in everything. Pankaj, explain this. What do rioting Trump supporters who stage an attempted coup have anything to do with Modi? You see, I must say this, as I bring in Smita into the debate and Saira into the debate, who I'm sure will not speak over each other. You know, the question is, my friend Nalin said, and on a whip on our side, he's talked about liberal, as if liberal justifies everything. Tomorrow you will be insane and say, I believe in liberal insanity. Tomorrow you'll be corrupt. You'll say, but I'm liberally corrupt. Tomorrow you'll be incompetent. You'll say, I'm liberally incompetent. So liberalism, quote unquote, or pseudo-liberalism, cannot be a balm over insanity, incompetence, or life.
Thank you,
Second
Mr. Goswami. That's the correct
word. You see,
word.
what is happening right now in this country is...
That is the correct word.
I was just thinking in the course of the debate, and I'd say this in another way in my own context, a group of people, they throw any insinuation at you. They throw stones at you. They throw verbal garbage at you. Right? They fling accusations at you. Right? And one bunch of defeated fools love it. And they start clapping. Like it's happening in the case of some in the Lutyens media today, the accusations being thrown on Republic. Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. But fact of the matter is, I believe now the time has come to stop taking it lying down. And that's what Nalin Kohli, people like you and Sushant must realize. Because as long as you take it lying down, then the other side believes they have a free hand. My question is very simple, Saira, and I hope that for the first time in the 3 years, 8 months and 26 days since you first came on one of my shows, you will give me an answer to a specific question. Saira, the 5-judge
bench of the Supreme Court of India gave a unanimous verdict on November 9, 2019 in the Ayodhya case. Where was the violence after that? So why are you drawing a comparison between Ayodhya and Capitol? I mean, are these people out of their mind completely or partially?
The entire Muslim community of India have accepted it very gracefully. Nobody
No, so then where is the comparison?
We don't even want that alternate.
No, so where is the comparison?
Land. You give that away on charity. We've got nothing. No,
but where is the comparison, Saira? The nation wants to know. I'm sorry. No, you have to. Where is the comparison?
Then I feel we really need to
Where does
prioritize things.
Why did you draw a comparison between Capitol and this?
Talking the institutions that are supposed to be protecting the rights of the citizens of India have been co-opted or they are being subverted. So today, when there are analogies to the Ayodhya incident, are you going to deny that a bunch of hoodlums in thousands scampered onto the Babri Masjid and demolished it illegally? Do you agree with it? Or so if there's an analogy happening between 1992 and
what does that have to do with Modi or the transfer of power?
What is wrong in that comparison?
Sorry.
Because here we are talking about
you're sounding ridiculous.
Democracy. We are talking about people who disregard the democracy, who go around subverting and try through other.
Oh, for God's sake, Trump lost and Modi won. Yeah, what are you talking about?
What happened in the election?
Trump lost a second term, Modi got a bigger second term. What are you talking about? It's sounding very silly, radically silly.
People are not accepting that other political parties can
what does Goa have to do with Washington?
But what happens? The right-wingers
Someone tell me, Smita, what's going on here?
And by MLAs.
Connection
some
people are trying to make.
They lodge
India
them
is
into
not
hotels
divided.
And they fly them down through chartered planes.
My jaw is dropping every second.
India is going ahead.
Isn't
with a sense of nationalism.
By the end of the show, my jaw will reach the floor.
In America, there are two nations. They're struggling.
Smita will respond, Shriram. 1 minute. Smita will respond.
And that is the reality. That's what they're not able to tolerate, Arnab. India is one and unified under Modi, and this is really hurting these people. That's
or you believe that it is a limited democracy. What do you believe in?
Figure. He's a hateful figure. They compare him to Trump. Has Modi lost a single election in his entire political career? No. Why? Because he brings whole society together and they walk along with him. That's the reality. And they are not able to face that. They are not able to digest this.
The larger issue in all of this that has emerged and which I think about often tonight, because we have no fear. Let me say this to you more personally. I'm saying, Jalal Bakshi, when you go through, when you cross the Rubicon of that level of injustice, you lose that sense of fear. I have no fear in my heart because I've seen what's on the other side. But the question is not that. The question is today, Swapnil, more fundamental, Ishkaran, it is about the abuse of office. And I have done this, I have covered this 12 years since the CWG scam, 11, 12 years. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And all we have questioned is the abuse of office. Abuse of office, Swapnil, is not a joke. It is a serious crime. Whether by Kalmadi, whether by Ashok Chavan allegedly, whether by Lalit Modi or anyone. The abuse of office is no joke. It is a serious crime. It is the betrayal of the people of India. It is a breach of the most fundamental duty of the person. It is a damn dangerous precedent, Swapnil. In my case, why I want to make this case a case, and I must say this tonight, I am determined more than ever to fight to the finish on this case now. I will fight this to the finish, this particular case now, because this is about the abuse of power. It is about the gross abuse of power, Swapnil, used to fix individuals, media houses who don't fall in line, brazen attitude by a political police media cabal that believes that no rule of law applies to them. You can use power in any which way. this collusion, this dirty and scandalous nexus between politics and policemen now add to this, Swapnil, a big dose of the media. You're violating every conceivable section of the Indian Penal Code, but you believe that you're above question. And because the Republic Network becomes that little thorn in the flesh. And tonight I'll just say this, viewers. I know I'm a thorn in the flesh. For some people in the media, I know I am. I was when I started the previous channel. I became a bigger thorn in the flesh when we launched our network, when we expanded. But what would the country do without the thorns in the flesh, Swapnil? These people would have a free run. So they wanted to cut the thorn.
Yes. Arnab, the people who thought that they are above the rule of law and they are beyond the parameters of the Constitution, the law, unfortunately, or should I say fortunately for you and fortunately for the Republic and for the country, has found them like a hydra-headed monster. The predatory are never far from the purgatory, as the saying goes, whether be it in the media, whether be it in the police, whether be it in the political spectrum. As any professional chess grandmaster will tell you that your position is that of a secure king who has got all its pieces around it trying to protect you. And by pieces, I mean not only your individuals and the well-wishers and your teammates, but the universe is conspiring to ensure that one of its best people, one of its best luminaries is trying to do something good for the entire city, country, and possibly the world as you go along on the global stage. And I'm seeing you dealing with the Taliban and the Afghanistan crisis. As I see most of my own alma mater, Georgetown professors coming through there, and most of the people who are working in international institutions whom I've interacted with earlier and whom I do get in touch with some time or the other, I notice one thing, Arnab, that you're trying to ensure the stability of the Southeast Asian region. And once you do that, and once you endeavor to do that, you're going to make more enemies, you're going to be bigger thorns in the flesh. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to ensure that India remains a democracy. And if India does not remain one, then there is very little hope for the whole world. As your friend Tariq Fateh had also said, that we are so deeply mired in our own philosophy that if we forget to see some things which are right before our eyes and which are more ghoulish than any poltergeist that we can encounter sometime in the middle of the night. Now, as far as the TRP case is concerned, that case is dead, given this confessional statement of Mr. Vazeh in a court of law.
Yes.
Both under the PMLA Act and both under the IPC. So I do not even want to discuss this dead case. You have gone past that. You have succeeded in that. It's only a matter of time. Your abetment to suicide case is out and done and dusted with. What I'm trying to say is, as Victor Hugo said, that nothing is as strong as an idea whose time has come. Republic is not only just a thought, but an idea which can withstand many a Jebelsian onslaught that you have faced in the last year with tremendous amount of courage, grit, and determination. And you will for most part, for every single time, you will find people rallying behind you, and you will succeed at every juncture. Let me tell you that the courts will be always behind someone who is a freedom, who is a champion of freedom,
the
who
courts
always
will.
goes along with the clarion call, because ultimately the courts are concerned with justice.
No,
and that is what you stand
no,
for.
No, that the courts
You
will. No, Swapnil, the courts will. The courts will. I know. But what shocks me is the brazenness. All I'm saying is a lot of people calling in tonight saying, Arnab, this happened to you, it happened to Republic. Imagine what any other citizen goes through in this country.
Exactly.
Just imagine. Just imagine. You can have a riot, you can kill people in this country and get away with it. And this is in a situation where Ishkaran, Supreme Court in 2014 case ruled that a policeman is liable for prosecution if he files a charge sheet against a person despite knowing his innocence. This is exactly what they have done against me. Exactly. Exactly. This is as malicious prosecution as it can be. What are the remedies?
Arnab,
Yes.
firstly, I think you're being too kind to yourself by calling yourself a thorn in the flesh. You are more like a prick in the conscience, because the thorn in the flesh can be removed. But when the conscience is pricked, even when you are alone in the room, you can't escape from that. Arnab, and also I would like to tell you something in my own experience. I was told that you are going to be destroyed economically.
Yes.
You will be dead mentally because in the morning people have swarmed in your house. Possibly physically also. Sachin Vaze, all said and done, is an accused of terror and murder crimes. And you are definitely dead as a journalist. That time I also told that person that the reports of Arnab's death are being grossly exaggerated.
Yes.
I did not think it would come out so soon with such vindication, but I'm very happy for you and for the country that it has come out. But one thing I will tell you, Arnab, on November 4th when this happened, obviously Republic called and my phone was ringing, but when I went on YouTube, I could not believe the lakhs of people who joined, and they were literally crying, praying for your safety, that is Arnab okay? What do you know? Is Arnab okay? I literally for that week could not speak on anything else, could not talk on anything else, because everybody, whether it was a YouTube live, Facebook live, Instagram live, had only one question. Is Arnab safe? When would Arnab be out? And second, they had the choicest of words for police and sometimes for other institutions, which I had to calm down as a lawyer. I said, have faith, but common people, when they get angry, their language sometimes is not parliamentary. And you as a person, even you do that, I do that. I told everybody, calm down, and what a spectacular order came from the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
But more than that now, I hope the order travels further. Because an Arnab Goswami, Arnab, sometimes you don't decide to choose, we'll make history or not. All this happened to you was not of your choosing. But this vindication, where Sachin Vaze, who came to attack you, is a terror and a murder accused. Where a Parambir Singh is hiding. A Mumbai police commissioner is in hiding from Maharashtra police. You couldn't have written that script. Where the home minister is not in office. Even if you wanted, you couldn't write that script. That is what maybe karma playing its role, that these people will go bonkers, fight amongst themselves, or somebody would be crazy enough to plant an Antilla operation. That is something was not in your control. But your courage, your fortitude in fighting for the right cause was in your control. And maybe that is why God stepped in, or karma stepped in, or this script got wrote, which is actually stranger than fiction, because no man could have predicted this. No man could have written that this sort of a thing, where home minister would not be in
I know
office,
the twists in this.
commissioner would be rising, would be there. And Arnab, last one thing I would say is that Supreme Court has done an amazing, amazing order in this case, as it always does.
Place on record also tonight about our country's media sitting and asking Mr. Salman Khurshid what exactly he meant. Manishankar Iyer on what he wants to mean. The amount of pollution in Delhi. But not a word here. Because they too are in hiding. And I'd like to play the pictures tonight. Viewers, just see the brave father, the parents of Colonel Biplab Tripathi tonight, viewers. Just imagine. Just imagine. What is it to be in their shoes? No. Just 1 minute, please. Don't interrupt now, please. Volume down. Just imagine. Their brave son, a young officer, Colonel Biplab Tripathi, his wife, and their 8-year-old grandson, they are having to give them a send-off. And this happens in our country. And in this country, while this happens, we allow traitors to abuse the army. We allow traitors to say, reduce the powers of the army. The army are the villains, and the terrorists are the heroes and the representatives of the people. No, they are not. That's why I've had this debate tonight, and I think Sambit Patra, I think we should unleash our anger tonight and make it clear what we mean by forces first. On the debate tonight, Sambit Patra, please listen to this just for a moment. Sambit Patra, Sambit.
Arnab, my heart goes out. My heart goes out to see the tears of the family members of the martyrs. My salutations to them. I'm really worried that at the first place, we have a debate on this issue. This issue is not debatable. That we have a debate, that we have two sides on this issue, it shows the level of bankruptcy that certain people in this country have got themselves to. And thankfully, Mr. Arnab, there was a time when most of these people found their way to NAC under Sonia Gandhi. Remember, Binayak Sen was dictating the planning commission then. Remember, most of these people were part of the NAC under Sonia Gandhi. And thankfully, they have moved to oblivion. They are being executed today. And rightly said, they are not human beings. And sir, I'm astonished. You don't want to celebrate the death of the demons. But astonishingly, when 76 CRPF Jawans were martyred, were butchered. Remember in Chhattisgarh, way back in 2010, there were certain people in JNU who were celebrating. Firecrackers, Shero Shairi. He was celebrating death of Jawans, but you cannot celebrate the death of Haivans. Astonishing. And most importantly, Mr. Goswami, these people, those who do not want to celebrate the death of inhumans, these people got their, I would say, their energy. They get their boost from the political parties. Sonia Gandhi cried over the dead bodies of Batla House terrorists for 3 nights. For 3 nights she cried because she saw the dead bodies of the terrorists there. See, they did not accept that they were terrorists. Everything was let loose by the Congress party. Every energy was used to show to the world that no, they were not terrorists. To show to the world that the policeman who in fact got killed fighting against terrorism was the culprit. I'm so sorry, Mr. Goswami, when the country goes in for a surgical strike or for an air strike, these are the very people who question the martyrs. These are the very people who question the courage, the valor of our army. These are the people. And they have the audacity and the gumption to come and debate on such a day. How can their soul? I mean, they have sold off their souls. Leave aside their heart. They have sold off their souls to the enemies of humanity. I would not say to enemies of our country, but to enemies of humanity. They have not an ounce of humanity left in them. Those who know Lal Salam, of course, would not understand the meaning of Vande Mataram.
On the screen tonight, viewers, please remember there are 2 people we want sacked. 2 people who should be sacked. One is Congress leader Ramesh Kumar on the left, who's been a speaker, by the way, of the assembly earlier, and presently on the right-hand side, the 61-year-old present speaker of the assembly. His name is Vishweshwar Hegde Kageri, and he was cackling away, laughing away, and really enjoyed the observation that women should enjoy the act of being raped when they cannot avoid it, when they find that it is inevitable. These are 2 people I believe should be sacked forthwith. Now, Nalin Kohli, you're also not doing anything. Your party says that the man who made the comments used to be a speaker. But the man who was laughing away, you saw the pictures, viewers, can we see the expression on his face? Nalin, please see the expression on this man's face. Ha, 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 laughing away, really enjoying, almost gleefully, putting his hand to his mouth, couldn't control himself, couldn't control that moment of deep and perverse satisfaction. That rape was being spoken about so freely. And he really, you know what he was enjoying, Nalin? He was enjoying the fact that a group of perverts could sit together in the House of the Representatives and talk about how women should enjoy getting raped. There was there was, viewers, can we have a look at this man's face? He really enjoyed it. I think he was really enjoying what he saw as a locker room joke. You should see his face. Just look at that. He was so happy at the comment on rape. And your party, which claims to speak for women and is asking for the resignation of the person who made the joke, refuses to act against this man. By the way, Nalin, he hasn't even apologized, which means you're standing solidly behind him.
Mr. Goswami, I don't know about this gentleman, but I'll certainly apologize for whatever is there, because this is despicable and unacceptable, both of them. Second, with regard to the comment on rape, it's horrific to make a joke of it. It's absolutely not a joking matter. I think we need to be also sensitive that it is gender neutral. Certainly, the most majority and the vast majority of cases do come against women. But we have to be, aware of the fact that
that's all right. Why don't you sack him?
Rape in any form.
No, why don't you sack him?
Is
No, why don't you sack him? Why don't you sack him? Why don't you call for the removal of the person? He's a speaker, for God's sake, Nalin. He's a speaker. He's a speaker. He's a speaker who's endorsing an act of rape. He's a speaker. A speaker sits on a chair, officiates over the House of Representatives, and then cackles away with the former speaker about how women should enjoy the act of being raped. And you are explaining this away in some way on my program. Come on, Nalin, I don't expect this from you.
No, I'm very clear. I'm very clear.
No, you're not, unfortunately. Today you're not clear.
I'm not also part of that ilk. And as I said, and I'm saying it clearly, I'm clearly saying it, that I'm apologizing on his behalf.
No, that doesn't work. You're apologizing on his behalf, you're covering up for him.
I don't hold that authority.
No, Ranjan, no, apologizing. Apologizing on his behalf, why should you apologize? We want the man sacked.
Also, I'm very clear. I know my jurisdiction.
Bhuvana? Bhuvana Session, spokesperson of the MNM, you buy that?
Someone could have taken
Bhuvana Session, buy that one. Bhuvana Session countering you from Chennai. Bhuvana?
No, I don't.
She doesn't buy that, neither do I.
Yeah. See, Arnab, I'm looking at it. Yeah, I don't. See, what is more appalling is when we are sitting and talking about this, there's only finger pointing going on and they're missing out on the issue. And they refuse to face the cameras, they refuse to take the mic and say, yes, I'm sorry. I mean, it takes a lot of courage for somebody to, say, I'm sorry. And when sorry does not mean anything, and this continues over the decades, we have seen so many people making insensitive remarks, and it's like a toxic seed that has been sown in some men. And especially in some men who are in governance, who hold important positions,
yes,
who take care of women's protection and safety.
I endorse that.
Yeah. So when you have a HR, a human resource manager, training people in a departmental store on inventory and products, it should be more of a workshop for those people sitting on a throne and passing comments and statements like this. They should be educated first, that they are not supposed to even think a few things. It has to be cut here, and the only way we can do is
Bhuvana,
we sack the person.
But Bhuvana, right now, Bhuvana, I can tell you, right now, Bhuvana, political parties on both sides are hating Republic. They would be hating us debating this because from their perspective, we are making of a mountain of a molehill. This is the conversation that is pretty much okay as far as they are concerned.
It is not.
If I were to say that the speaker has a sick mind, then he would say, I will move a breach of privilege motion against you. And may I say this? In the past, if I have not addressed a particular politician as Your Honor, Your Excellency, Your Greatness, etc., breach of privilege motions have been put against me. This is the reality. But when elected representatives sit in the House and say women must really learn to enjoy the act of rape, and you know what happened, Syed Abbas, after that, our reporter went to the speaker. And said, Mr. Speaker, the person was sitting there right before you and saying women must enjoy the act of being raped if the act of rape is inevitable. And the speaker said, yes, I know the statement. And look at his arrogance. He said, yes, I know. And he says, I know it.
The remark was off the cuff. It wasn't.
He says, I know it. And he was laughing. Syed Abbas, he was laughing. He thinks that the people of the country are fools. He thinks the people of the country must be laughed at. And the BJP refuses to sack him. Priyanka Vadra refuses to sack Ramesh Kumar. For them, the few thousand votes that they will get is much more important than what they have said and spoken about Indian women. So this is the message that India's political parties are sending to India's women. Let it be noted now.
You are totally mistaken, Arnab. It doesn't have any relation with the voting pattern of the country.
Well, it will, and it should.
Comment no party will endorse. No,
you're just being an opportunist,
Kabru. You should have been debating about the Sunni deals. That's a much heinous crime committed against your fellow journalists or your fellow women activists.
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. Do you endorse?
Kamrulji, I think we have heard you, sir. Now you need to kindly hear what I'm going to speak now. First and foremost, we must understand. Truly, Arnab, watching you speak today, undoubtedly this is the Arnab Goswami, the fourth pillar of the Indian Constitution. Let me tell you, hats off to you, my brother. Today you've taken a stand where you blame both the BJP and the Congress. You've asked for a resignation of a Ramesh Kumar. You've asked for a resignation of a speaker who is of the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is truly it is. And today, let me ask Nalin Kohli, Kamruji, Tanveerji, with folded hands.
Everyone.
Do not give a ticket to an MLA or MP with serious crimes against women.
Oh yeah.
You politicians, for power, you give tickets to those criminals, those rape accused people, and you come and defend them. How dare you today? I ask as a brother, I ask as a father, I ask as a son of a mother, is this true? How dare you, according to NCB-RB reports, Arnab, these political parties give tickets to MLAs, MPs who have serious crimes against women. How dare you do that? Are you not born to a woman? And how dare you laugh the matter? I come from Karnataka. I come from the land of Bangalore. I come from the land of Kuvempu and Baswanna. We are taught from our childhood to respect women, salute women. माँ के पैरों की तले जन्नत है, क्या यही है तुम्हारी जन्नत? All those cowards laughing in my Karnataka assembly, shame on you. You have no right to call yourself a man, because the true man will not laugh on this matter. You need to understand, you have family of women. You stay with women. You are born from a woman. And how dare you laugh? How dare you politicians even come out and ask for votes? Next time you come out and ask for votes, we must blacken your face and ask you to get the hell out.
Saying all this without evidence? I am saying this. मैं बिना सबूत के कुछ बोल नहीं रहा हूं. हमारे पास 95 पेज के स्टेटमेंट्स है सारे विटनेसेस के, जिनको एग्जामिन किया एनआईए के स्पेशल पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर अविनाश रसल ने. एंड दिस इंडिकेट्स, इससे यह इंडिकेट होता है कि स्टेटमेंट्स एट्रीब्यूट किए गए उन लोगों को जिनको बुलाया तक नहीं गया. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड मुफ्ती ज़ियाई, यानी कि हिंदू टेरर थ्योरी को बनाने और सजाने के लिए जिन्होंने स्टेटमेंट नहीं दिया, जिनको बुलाया नहीं गया, उन पर स्टेटमेंट्स एट्रीब्यूट किए गए. क्यों? ताकि एक थ्योरी बने कि समथिंग कॉल्ड हिंदू टेररिज्म. आप इस बात को थोड़ा सीरियसली लीजिए, एक स्टैंडर्ड पोजीशन मत लीजिए. समीर कुलकर्णी जवाब देंगे आपके बाद, या समीर कुलकर्णी पहले बोलना चाहते हैं? 1 मिनट. आप में से एक बोलेंगे पहले. हु विल स्पीक फर्स्ट? विल समीर कुलकर्णी स्पीक फर्स्ट? आप पहले एक बार समीर कुलकर्णी की बात सुन लीजिए. जी मिस्टर कुलकर्णी, व्हाट हैज बीन हैपनिंग इनसाइड द कोर्ट रूम? यू टेल अस. आप बताइए.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. मैं पूना महाराष्ट्र से हूं. मैंने अपने जीवन में कभी भी मैं मालेगांव कभी गया नहीं. मैं पूरे वर्ष महाराष्ट्र में नहीं था. मुझे भोपाल मध्य प्रदेश से परमवीर सिंह की जो बीबी थी, उसके इंडिया बुल्स के चार्टर प्लेन से झूठे नाम से मुझे मुंबई लेके आए. जब मैं पहली बार एटीएस मुंबई में आया, तब मुझे मालेगांव बम ब्लास्ट, ये मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में पहली बार नाम सुना है. आवाज गेला.
आवाज, I think the line got cut. One minute. I want his line back. Producers, can I get the line back? Sameer Kulkarni, please stay. I'm trying to reconnect with him. He's making an important point. Please, everybody listen. जरा सुन ले मुफ्ती ज़ियाई जी, जरा सुन ले इसको, और उसके बाद में सुनकर आप रिएक्ट करें. आप मन बनाकर रिएक्ट मत कीजिए.
और मैं बहुत ही जिम्मेदारी के साथ इंसान को जवाब देना चाहूंगा.
जी. क्योंकि यस, 1 मिनट. समीर कुलकर्णी वापस उनके साथ संपर्क हमारा हो गया है. वी हैव हिम ऑन द लाइन. समीर कुलकर्णी, प्लीज कंप्लीट योर पॉइंट. आप बोलिए.
मैं कभी जिंदगी में मालेगांव नहीं गया. मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में पहली बार मालेगांव बम ब्लास्ट यह शब्द मुंबई एटीएस में सुना. मैंने कोई गुनाह नहीं किया था। आज भी चार्जशीट में मैंने कोई एक अपशब्द बोला है, ऐसा भी मेरे ऊपर एलिगेशन नहीं है। केवल मैं नहीं तो 12 आरोपी में से 11 आरोपी को इलीगल डिटेंशन किया, हेवी टॉर्चर किया, 24 घंटे में से 20-20 घंटा मारते थे, घर वालों को बदनाम किया, अपमानित किया, प्रताड़ित किया। स्पेशल कोर्ट उस वक्त बोलता था कि अगर आपका केस अगर पुख्ता है तो आरोपियों को मारने की जरूरत क्या थी। आज एमसीओ से ड्रॉप हुआ है, आज बहुत सारे कलम हमारे ऊपर ड्रॉप हुए हैं। एटीएस ने जो 12 आरोपियों को पकड़ा था उसमें से 5 आरोपी को डिस्चार्ज किया गया है विदाउट ट्रायल। एक भी 164 का स्टेटमेंट प्रोसिक्यूशन के पास नहीं है। फैब्रिकेटेड 164 स्टेटमेंट जेरोक्स के ऊपर 9 साल मुकदमा चलाया। बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ने यह साबित कर दिया कि यह जेरोक्स कोई एविडेंस नहीं है करके ओरिजिनल 164 एविडेंस को फैब्रिकेट किया गया, ओरिजिनल 164 स्टेटमेंट को गायब कर दिया गया और जेरोक्स के ऊपर 9 साल हमको जेल के अंदर रखा गया। किसी भी आरोप के खिलाफ प्रथम दृष्टया कोई भी एविडेंस आज के डेट में नहीं है। 220 गवाह हो चुके हैं, लेकिन एक लफ्ज भी किसी गवाह ने किसी आरोपी के खिलाफ नहीं बोला है। कंटिन्यूअसली 15 जो गवाह है वो लीगल लैंग्वेज में उनको हॉस्टाइल बोलते हैं, लेकिन वो भगवान की सौगंध खाकर न्यायालय में कहते हैं कि हमने कोई स्टेटमेंट दिया नहीं, हमें कोई स्टेटमेंट पढ़कर सुनाया नहीं और हम किसी को जानते नहीं है। और एक आम हिंदुस्तानी सभी के सभी गवाह है, किसी पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़े हुए लोग नहीं है, मेहनत की रोटी खाने वाले लोग नहीं है। हमारा 13 वर्ष जीवन बर्बाद किया और ये कंप्लीटली सेम रिपीटेशन किया 2006 में। कल स्पेशल एनआई कोर्ट में आखिरी 10 सेकंड, कल स्पेशल एनआई कोर्ट में भगवान की सौगंध खाकर विटनेस नंबर 40 ऐसा कहता है स्पेशल एनआई कोर्ट में कि मुझे केवल टॉर्चर किया गया कि जो भारत के जो 5 सामाजिक धार्मिक जीवन जीने वाले लोग थे उनका आरएसएस के 5 लोगों का आप नाम ले लो, हम आपको छोड़ देंगे, नहीं तो आपको आरोपी बना के आपका जीवन बर्बाद कर देंगे।
Viewers, before getting lots of reactions to this, I want to say one thing. I want to say एक बात मुझे भी बोलना है, मुझे एक बात बोलने दे, उसके बाद आपके पास ही आ रहा हूँ। मुफ्ती मंजूर ज़ियाई जी। Viewers, first of all, let us understand. 95 pages of witness statements given to the NIA. How many witness testimonies can you ignore? कितने गवाहों के टेस्टिमनीज को आप इग्नोर कर सकते हैं? यह देश जानना चाहता है, यह पूछता है भारत। दूसरी बात, एक धर्म विशेष को टारगेट करके आप शत्रु देश पाकिस्तान को, जो हमारा शत्रु देश है, एक धर्म विशेष को टारगेट करके, हिंदू धर्म को टारगेट करके आप एक शत्रु देश जिसकी रोल थी मालेगांव में उसको बचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। प्लीज थिंक अबाउट दिस। मुफ्ती ज़ियाई, यू हैव अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, यू हैव अ रिस्पॉन्स। आज आप डोंट स्पीक ऑन रिलीजियस लाइन्स, स्पीक एज एन इंडियन, दैट्स ऑल। मुफ्ती ज़ियाई प्लीज। यस, Mufti ज़ियाई and Aparajita Sarangi will respond. Yeah, please. I see everyone on the screen. Yeah, Mufti ज़ियाई. जी.
प्लीज मुझे सुनने की कोशिश करें। मैं बहुत ही दिल के साथ एज ए हिंदुस्तानी 2 बातें जरूर कहना चाहूंगा कि जिस तरीके से हमारे भाई साहब के साथ प्रताड़ना हुई, जिनके साथ उनकी बेइज्जती हुई, उनके बच्चों के साथ जो कुछ भी हुआ, उनके घर वालों के साथ भी जो ज्यादती हुई, इन तमाम ज्यादतियों की मजम्मत हम करते हैं, लेकिन इस बारे में बात करते करते उन्होंने ये बात भी दोहरा दिया कि भाई हिंदुइज्म, हिंदू कार्ड, हिंदुत्व। मेरी बात सुन लें, हिंदुत्व लैंड ये कहकर के उन्होंने फिर विक्टिम कार्ड क्यों हुई कर दी है। आप जानते हैं कि सैकड़ों
क्यों हुई,
बच्चे जिनके ऊपर
नहीं उनको प्रताड़ित क्यों किया गया?
सैकड़ों
This 100 crore vaccine mark, in my view, is a testament to the Indian spirit of relentlessly charging ahead in the face of a crisis, of coming together in unprecedented times to battle, of working hard in grueling circumstances and holding your ground. It's incredible, incredible. Just look how far we've come. Ryan, what would you say to Fuad? You know, for 1.5 years, this country was abused and attacked, unfortunately, by its own people. But today is a watershed moment, isn't it?
So today validates one thing that many people have said about this government, that it is a government that dreams big, thinks big, executes big. And having crossed the 100 crore mark is no small feat. In a soundbite that you had asked me for today, when I was talking about it, I had, of course, thanked the government and the people and Republic TV itself for the consistent campaign that you had carried. But there was one lot of people I had forgotten to thank for this, and that is the vaccine creators. The Krishna and Suchitra Ella of Bharat Biotech, the Pankaj Patel of Cadella, and most important of all, my friends Cyrus and Adar Poonawala, who were the people who were in the forefront of this whole campaign. Adar took the early risk, ensured that India was as vaccine ready as a country of this size could possibly be, and ultimately they have come out trumps. So this is a government which is able to think at the macro level, implement at the micro level. And I think today is a great and very happy day for all of us. It's not a matter of which political party you belong to, which cause you sympathize with. This is for the common good. This is for India. This is for the betterment of the people of India. And this drive should keep continuing because the pandemic has not completely died down. So there will be need for further vaccination, booster doses, and the fight must continue.
Absolutely.
And now I think the time has come when the naysayers must step back a little and just say, okay, all right, this is a good thing, we're happy, and we move on. I mean, you know, people can have skepticism at different points of time. But there's a time when you say, enough is enough.
I do think
I agree. I put my shoulder along with the government, and we go towards a better cause.
You don't believe the facts on the ground. People like you would want to believe the BBC. What did BBC say? BBC said in May, India's vaccination drive has gone horribly wrong. I demand today, Nalin Kohli, an equalizer, a corrigendum, more appropriately an apology from the BBC. Because you predicted that our vaccination drive has gone horribly wrong. They can't say that that headline came with a 6-month expiry date. It's huge. Mr. Swetch, say it to Nalin Kohli tonight as a fellow Indian, not as a congressman to a BJP person. Say congratulations, Nalin, and we should all congratulate each other for what we've done. Because it's a hell of a lot more than anyone anticipated. Yes, Mr. Swetch.
If you want to celebrate the non-recognition of your vaccines by the WHO, and if you want to celebrate thousands of bodies emerging from sand from the Ganges of the banks of Ganges, go on celebrating. If you want to celebrate the complete vanishing of the government from the scene when thousands of people were running for oxygen cylinders, they were running from beds for COVID treatment, and none was available. Then go on celebrating. Go on chest thumping. Go on patting your back.
Yes.
This is not the case.
Yes.
Now.
I want to say something here. Mr. Swetch, I need to intervene for a moment, please.
Of the people we have.
I need to intervene for a moment, please. I want to intervene for a moment.
If you want to celebrate, listen. If you want to celebrate the lagging of vaccination in India by months and months, then go on celebrating. Go on chest thumping. Our target was 31st December, fully all the people, 130 crore people, fully vaccinated.
I want to remind you, I want to remind you, Mr. Swetch, Mr. Swetch, don't get rhetorical with me, don't get poetic with me, don't tell me you want to celebrate, you want to celebrate. I understood the prefix, I will tell you the suffix now. Listen to me. Please listen to me, Mr. Swetch. Now it is your turn. First, one line. I've decided to be brief today and let others speak.
Give the complete facts.
No, thank you. So since
You
I've
don't
allowed...
want to believe the
Yeah, but
facts.
I allow
If you want
myself
to
the indiscretion
distort
of
the
one
facts,
line.
Then go on celebrating.
Okay, I will
Go on
celebrate.
celebrating.
Yeah, I am celebrating even now. What's your problem? You celebrate the day you decide which part of faction of your party you're with, Sidhu or Channi.
Totally
Now listen to me. My question is, my question tonight, Nalin, can you hear me? Nalin has lost, we lost the phone line with Nalin.
At different times.
We're going to get Nalin back on the phone line, viewers. I really feel like opening the phone lines tonight.
Intervened.
Okay, have you finished?
Are you listening to me?
Oh God, can you finish? Can you put a semicolon in your sentence?
Can I go on?
Thank you. No, you can't go on. You put a comma, semicolon, and then a full stop in your sentence.
Intervened.
1 minute, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. My producer is very democratic. They're not even taking you off the screen, not even adjusting the fader. My question tonight, Nalin is back. Okay. Question here is tonight. One point. So one point. No amount of repetition or alliteration is going to get you to connect with the people. I will celebrate. You know why? I'll give you one reason. I will celebrate. I don't want you to complete my sentences. I will celebrate. I'll give you one reason, and Nalin responds to you. I will celebrate the fact that we defeated cynics like you who wanted to use COVID as a political opportunity. For you, whether it was Shaheen Bagh or Hathras or a farmers' protest, you saw COVID as a political opportunity. You saw the pandemic as a political opportunity. You wanted to use it to polarize, politicize, incite, and divide. You wanted it never to end. I will celebrate the fact that you wanted mayhem, and the people of the country, the healthcare professionals and the government did not allow you that luxury. Now, Nalin is opening the debate with you. Nalin Kohli, responding to Mr. Swedge.
Thank you so much, Arnab, and today is a day to celebrate. In less than 300 days, in 275 days, 100 crore Indians have got a vaccine. 70 crore of them have got it the first time, and 30 crores have got the second dose. This is done not just by the vision of the Prime Minister and the relentless work of his government, but because 7.5 lakh healthcare workers and those who are with them trained are on a daily basis. I didn't interrupt you, Mr. Swaj. Mr. Swaj, I mean, let's have a respectable debate. I heard you.
Go on.
So, because 7.5 lakh people, at 3 lakh centers have given more than 95 lakh sessions of vaccination. 16 lakh vehicles are on the road which carry these vaccines across the country in different states. 1.5 lakh cold storage boxes that workers carry on their shoulders and go to the remotest part of the country. 1 lakh refrigerators and deep freezers. It's not a joke. It's the largest exercise ever done in the world for vaccination. I'm amazed. The Congress is trying to make a comparison with polio. How many days did they finish the polio vaccination in? In how many years did they complete their entire polio vaccination? 22 years. Can it be compared with 100 crore vaccines injected in 275 days? 100 crore is equal to the population of over 190 countries of this world.
Yes.
1 in 7 people on this planet are vaccinated today. It's not a small amount.
No.
And the Congress cannot celebrate even India's great victory in this fight. We know that it's a challenge before us. We understand that the pandemic is not yet behind us fully. But let's not forget, 100 crore people today have some form of protection. First dose or second dose. Unfortunately, the Congress party's entire model is based on adulation around a first family. Whereas Narendra Modi's entire focus is on work. Kaam bolta hai, unke liye parivar bolta hai. That is their model, good luck to them, no problem. But why can't the Congress celebrate India moving on a path for securing good health for the Indian citizen? Must they today also try to run down the work of our healthcare workers, our frontline workers, the drivers who drive it, the serum manufacturers, those different companies, Bharat, whether it is in Pune, Serum Institute, whether it is Bharat Biotech Covaxin? I mean, come on, our scientists who developed it here.
Yeah.
There's something to be celebrated today. Can we be positive for a change, Mr.
Yes.
Swach?
Viewers, on the debate, the simple question we are putting up tonight is, can we turn a blind eye to people who out of a variety of reasons, maybe they don't like Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister of India. Maybe they are anti-BJP. Maybe they are anti-RSS, which they have a right to be. But unfortunately for this group, a fascinating fact is, Captain Alok, that being anti-BJP, being anti-Modi, sometimes takes them to the extent of being anti-India. They even become pro-Taliban to be anti-Modi.
Well said.
They become pro-Hizbul Mujahideen, pro-Jaish-e-Mohammed, pro-Lashkar-e-Toiba out of a need to be anti-Modi. So I'm asking a simple question tonight, and my question is, can you support the Taliban without identifying yourself as a supporter of terrorism? And they go and ask, oh, but didn't Narendra Modi give official recognition to the Taliban in Doha? They did not. It may be your greatest wish. It may be your hope. It may be your heart's fervent and burning desire. And people like Abhishek Sudhir can come on my program and say that the Taliban is making us look like chicken. 1 minute. Did you watch that? Viewers, did you hear that? Everyone watching the program tonight?
Yes.
Did you hear him say that no, 1 minute, you don't get away. This is my show. You don't get away by making half-witted comments like that. You said the Taliban is making India, the Indian armed forces, the people of India, and the government of India, and the army of India look like chicken.
Stop embarrassing yourself on national television by doubting.
Sanjeev Verma, what are you exactly? What are you?
Have you forgotten?
You are a disgrace to this country.
Of 2016? Have you forgotten the Balakot strike of 2019? Have you forgotten that it is thanks to India that Pakistan?
Yes, we all saw the movie. हमने सब picture देखा है भाई. आपके surgical movie हमने
no
देखी
more
है.
peripheral
अब
comments
picture
by
बनाओ.
you. I bring to your attention, I began by saying tonight, Fuad, that in this world we call each other names, aptards, Congis, Modi Bhakts, what not, but I began by saying that at least now unite. You have a bigger enemy, a conglomeration of terrorist groups who will act against all of us and not discriminate for or against anyone. Syed Salahuddin says, Captain Bansal, I pray to Allah that He strengthens the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan so that they may support Kashmiris against India. They're talking of Ghazwa-e-Hind. I'm saying, Captain Alok, I think we need to decide which side we are on, and there are only two sides, for or against the Taliban.
See, I think there can be nobody who's rational who can be with Taliban, because Taliban supports an obscurantist ideology which promotes terrorism. It's an ideology that breeds terrorism. And you will see in days to come, every conceivable terrorist outfit of the region will find a safe haven in Afghanistan. So Taliban is dangerous to the people of Afghanistan. It is actually nobody, no sane person would like to, if he has a choice, would like to live in a Talibanized Afghanistan. Taliban is a threat to Afghanistan, Taliban is a threat to India, Taliban is a threat to the world at large, and Taliban is a threat to the region at large.
What exactly are the Taliban supporters supporting? I'll tell you what, Ifra. They are supporting the breakup.
I don't want to listen to you, Arnab. Please let me speak.
No, 1 minute. You have to listen to a question. You may have come with a prepared speech, but you'll have to listen to a question. No, do you speak to yourself? No, 1 minute. You'll get your chance, but I have to ask a question. You can't ask yourself the question, and this is my question. The Al-Qaeda says to the Taliban, we must come together and liberate the Levant, Somalia, Yemen, Kashmir. So anyone who is indirectly supporting the Taliban is supporting that. Taliban sympathizers are in fact supporting the Al-Qaeda, which called for the Mujahideen in Kashmir to inflict unrelenting blows on the Indian army in 2019. Right? So the third thing is you better take a position on it, right? As should all of us. Do you want the radicalization to return to Kashmir? A minute, Ifra. You are in Kashmir. You won't be allowed to step out of your house if the Taliban come in.
Let me respond, Arnab. Arnab, in Kashmiri, there is a proverb
that says shall sell its butt and chew up. Now that you guys are going and the BJP government is going and meeting the Taliban and eating kebabs with them in Doha, लेकिन हिंदुस्तानी मुसलमानों की lynching करवानी है, इसीलिए imaginary discourse बना दो कि हिंदुस्तानी मुसलमान जो है तालिबान को support करते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे BJP is not like your मुसलमानों in September 2017, Farooq Abdullah said POK belongs to Pakistan. In January 2018, Farooq Abdullah said that all the tragedies in Pakistan are thanks to the Indian government led by Prime Minister Modi. In September 2020, your dear Farooq Abdullah
is Taliban a terror organization or not?
Said that Kashmiris would rather be led by China.
चिल्लाते रहिए, चिल्लाते रहिए, चिल्लाते रहिए, बोलते रहिए आप।
मुझे पड़ेगा क्योंकि
चिल्लाइए, आप तो बस यही कर सकती हैं, और आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते हैं। चिल्लाती रहिए मैडम, चिल्लाती रहिए,
झूठ पर झूठ
चिल्लाती रहिए, तालिबान वालों के साथ कबाब खाते रहिए, उनके साथ।
No, I think that thank you very much, Sanju and Ifra. Allow me, Sanju. I just want to ask 1 minute. I think you are in the way you are debating, you're not understanding the gravity of the issue. Kranti, eventually you spoke up today. For over a week, you've been targeted. Your Samir has been targeted. The family has been targeted. Your sister-in-law has been targeted. It's unrelenting. First of all, how are you holding up? How are you managing this? And did you expect it to go so far as to call your husband, who's the NCB zonal director, an extortionist?
Honestly, no. Honestly, I thought that nobody can stoop so low. Nobody can. Because in the end, it's the question of our nation. So nobody will go that low just to have their personal vendetta or take a revenge or whatever. I really thought that there is some humanity left, but there isn't. And apparently, they have an entire system, a PR system, who's in place to troll you, to write nasty things about you, to dig up stuff, and then make it murkier and murkier by the day. So honestly, to answer your question, I really thought that they won't stoop so low, but they have. And wow. But the best part is that the nation is standing by us, at least majority of them, and thanks to news channels like you who are supporting us relentlessly.
Yasmin, you're an advocate. Do you fear that a lie repeated 1,000 times becomes the truth? So what is being said repeatedly is, Samir Wankhede is an extortionist. He takes crores of rupees. He wanted money. Even in this case, in which Shah Rukh's son was arrested, the insinuation is that he wanted 8 crore rupees. And this is being pushed in social media. A lot of political handles are pushing it. Do you fear that a lie repeated 1,000 times will become the truth? Do you fear that eventually the attempt is to get Samir to slow down somehow, to put so much pressure on him that he backs off, seeks a posting, leaves Mumbai because he's maybe getting close to something, is forced to leave the job of NCB zonal director, maybe get arrested? Do you worry about these things?
It is much obvious. It is obvious that as being a sister, that I am, we all, my sister-in-law, my father, including me, are being tormented, are being harassed by such kind of comments, which is not even quite a good evidence. This person, Mr. Nawab Malik, gets up in the morning and he gets things, he thinks the Twitter is a court. He puts all this remarks on the court. Tell me one thing I want to ask this to the audience, where has got anything to do with caste, religion and a drug racket? What is he doing right now is cleaning up the nation. What is this has got to, what is the connection between his caste, his past life with his drug rackets, which is clearing up right now? And well, if we people see his history, when we see the way he has tremendously worked towards the nation with the honesty, so why would somebody not see the past and everything which has happened, and subsequently after this thing only everybody comes up, gives threats to us. There are threatening calls made to us that will kill you and etc. etc. We are not scared of it for sure, but why is it done? My question is, why are you giving a message to the society that as we being women, we should get scared and nobody should go ahead with this UPSC studies? And this is, what message are you going to give the societies by doing this with the families, with the women of these officers who want to honestly work for the nation?
But the flip side is, Kranti, that some people are saying, oh, you know, Goswami is going to be left to fend for himself. He's one officer. He may be diligent. He may be popular. People may like him. He may be seen to be effective. But that's as long as he's in his job. You must have heard Nawab Malik when he said that in 1 year, I'm going to make sure that he loses his job. That threat was made from a very public forum, right? An attempt is being made to single out your husband. An attempt is being made to make an example of Samir. You do realize that. And then, you know, they are saying we have investigating agencies, we have enough with us if we need to teach him a lesson.
Yes.
Did you, have you spoken to Samir about it? I just like to know, because he's speaking very little. Where does your family stand on this?
I'm sure he is worried about that. I'm sure at some point
Are you worried?
Time,
Are you also worried?
Of course I'm worried. Of course I'm worried. I'm so worried that he's going to be alone in this. I'm so worried that people who are backing him now, tomorrow they might not. Because like you said, what if they spread, I mean, they're technologically, what if they're so sound that they spread such kind of rumors about him that people start believing in them? Thankfully, we are having proofs at each and every moment to retaliate each and every allegation of theirs, and hence they cannot prove their point right now. But this continuous attack can somewhere play in people's mind that okay, they're doing it every day. Okay, there might be some truth to it. You know, it's not difficult to change people's mind also. So yes, definitely I am worried. Yes, definitely Samir also sometimes feels worried. However, we believe in our strong judiciary system. However, we believe in the people who are supporting Samir. We believe in them and we totally trust them. But sometimes, yes, that thought crosses our minds before we go to sleep, that what if people today they're standing up? What if tomorrow they don't?
It's difficult. Today I saw, you know, this afternoon, Yasmin, you know, your father came on television and had to show documents with birth certificates, Samir's class 10, class 12 mark sheets, saying my name is not Dawood, because this morning for some reason Nawab Malik put out a tweet saying his name is Samir Dawood, and you know, getting into every private space. And also this morning, Kranti, you had to put out a tweet saying that you married Samir under the Hindu Marriage Act. He had married under the Special Marriage Act. He was legally divorced. You married him after the divorce. These are very, Yasmin, these are difficult things. You know, I mean, a lot of people calling in right now saying, see, look here. They're going to crush, the attempt is to crush Samir and the family, to slow him down. Is it to slow him down? Is it to stop him? Why do they want to slow him down? And are people speaking out enough? You're on a public forum, everyone's watching you tonight. People who matter are watching you tonight. Speak to them, Yasmin.
Don't you think it's already happening? Don't you think that he's going, don't you think I'm sitting today on this chair answering the questions of the public? Don't you think he's questioned? Don't you think that right now he would have gone somewhere and he would have raided and he would have cleansed the whole system? He would have been on the raids in an active manner, which he would have done. But he's answering his allegations, he's answering his honesty, don't you think it had already happened?
Yeah. That was the whole point of it, wasn't it?
We have been stopped. We have been stopped from doing our work. Don't you think that an old man who's already retired has to open his certificates and he has to show it? Don't you think it is already gone down below a level of tolerance?
That it has, but you know what, Kranti, people are saying? That okay, Samir is being targeted. We may or may not agree with it, but he should not have arrested a star kid. The issue is no longer about narcotics. The issue is, why did he arrest an actor's son? That's what in social media, powerful, connected people are constantly talking about. What's your response to them, Kranti?
See, you know what now? About that, I'll answer in a very different way. Today I have children. Tomorrow when they grow up, they become 13 and 14. I don't want them to go outside the gate of their schools and colleges and procure drugs from there very easily. Okay? I have seen cases where a woman, a girl, a 16-year-old girl, Yasmin also knows this story, where she was ready to sleep with the peddler, a girl, because her father had stopped giving her money for drugs or whatever. She used to ask for pocket money. He stopped giving her after a point of time. But because she didn't have money, with a very, very cheap, very, very bad peddler, she was ready to sleep with him just for drugs. And then she started doing that and eventually got into prostitution. Is it wrong that Samir is trying to clean up the drug menace? Is it wrong? Somewhere he's trying to clean the system only, no? So it doesn't matter who is being arrested here. The main point is that they treat this as a reformatory case rather than deterrent. It is deterrent on some level, 100%. But we are trying to reform the youth. He's going to different mosques, he's going to different temples, he's meeting the fathers at the church and all to give lectures, and he has done that. But usko kaam to karne do. Let him work at least. Every time you want to pull his legs down. Not done, na? Not done.
And my next sentence is the following. 102 million. I repeat, 102 million doses of Covaxin have been administered to Indians so far, which means 102 million Indians together called you liars. Can you hear the roar of 102 million Indians who told you not to lie to them? You tried your best. You said don't take Covaxin, you'll die. It's a terrible vaccine. The foreign vaccines are good. This is a BJP vaccine. This is a Modi vaccine. Don't take it. Even if you're a Modi bug, don't take it. Can you tell me please tonight, why 102 million Indians, why 102 million Indians rejected your theory? Explain to me tonight. Explain to me tonight. Manojit Mandal, explain to the viewers tonight. 102 million Indians.
First of all, let me, oh God,
102 million, you understand?
Very happy Durga Puja to all of you, including yourself. Are
Shubho Saptami to you too. Now answer my question. Shubho Saptami to you too. Now answer my question.
I will answer. First of all, please remove Mamta
102 million Indians.
This particular cynicism. You are absolutely wrong.
You first say 102 million Indians.
You don't know. One of our senior
truck carrying vaccine.
Mr. Firad
Siddiqullah Chaudhary,
part of the human trials of Covaxin. Please correct your information.
Still,
Please
Are you more
rid of this
qualified
Mamta
than the
visual.
scientists
We
and
have
the doctors?
never, ever
Are you
criticized Covaxin.
are you more qualified
This is
than the
on
scientists in
record.
ICMR?
अरे now अभी चुप रहो अभी मिस्टर भाटिया
क्यों?
please keep
सवाल पूछेंगे ना,
भाटिया, please
बुरा
चुप
नहीं
रहो
मानना,
अभी।
सवाल
मेरा-
पूछेंगे
अरे अभी
आपसे।
आप- क्यों
Are you more qualified
सिखा
than
रहे
the
थे ना
doctors and scientists
आप तो
of our
डिसिप्लिन
country?
सिखा रहे थे ना
Simple.
उनको आप डिसिप्लिन सिखा रहे थे
मैं
अभी आप लेक्चर मार रहे थे
जवाब सुनना
ना
चाहता
अभी आप लेक्चर मार रहे
मैं तो
थे
आपका
क्यों
जवाब
आपका भंडा
सुनना
फूट जाएगा
चाहता
ना
हूं।
अभी आपका भंडा फूट
मैं तो
जाएगा ना
आपका जवाब
निकलता हूं
सुनना चाहता हूं।
One of our ministers,
अब्दुल्ला चौधरी
Mr.
ने
Firad
वैक्सीन का ट्रक क्यों
Hakim, a
रोका?
various senior minister was part of the human trials of Covaxin and I have been defending this for the
Do you have
last
faith in
9
the
months,
scientists
Mr.
or you
Arnab
don't?
Goswami.
Tell me.
So you cannot
Can I
put
forward the
Mamta
screen
in
to
the
Anand,
same
come on
bracket.
now.
We have welcomed
You know,
Covaxin.
they will not answer the
just
question that
welcome.
is relevant.
One of our ministers was part of the human trial.
And
How can we
Arnab,
forget that?
you know, it's not that
Why?
102 million people.
Okay, now, no, one minute.
Don't need to-
No, I, in that case,
We are
in-
enjoying puja. We are enjoying puja under Mamta.
I just said this. Okay, let me. First of all, one minute. Monojit, I want to respond to you. Monojit, I want to respond to you. I want to respond to you, Monojit Mandal. I want to respond to you.
First, you
Can I
contest my information.
If Firad Hakim, your senior leader, was part of the clinical trials for Covaxin, I congratulate him. I think it's very good that he was. It shows the ability of a politician to rise over petty political differences. But I want you to tell the Congress tonight. And I want you to tell the Samajwadi Party tonight, Monojit Mandal. I want you to tell them tonight that they were wrong in building a sustained campaign against Covaxin. Say it to them tonight. Say it while people are watching. Tell the Congress Party they were wrong. Say it at the top of your voice tonight. Come on, Monojit. They said this vaccine should never have been approved. Tell them tonight it was wrong. Tell them tonight it was wrong. Say live on my program now.
Can I come in?
No problem in saying that.
respond?
They have made an error of judgment.
Arnab, can I come in?
Can I just respond to
made an error of
you? When you have
judgment.
taken
What's
my
wrong in
party's
saying that?
name,
They had
the
made an
most
error of
important thing
judgment.
out
There's
here is
nothing wrong
that
in it.
the
But you
CDG,
cannot put Mamta in the same bracket. One has senior minister was part of the human trial.
And the Covaxin manufacturers are all moving in different directions. They don't have a uniformity in the vaccine policy in India. The WHO approval that you are talking of, the WHO approval is never there.
Do you welcome
the
this
emergency use
achievement
approval
of the
was
scientists
denied.
or you
Now
don't?
India and
You
the
are still
Covaxin
trying to create
manufacturer
doubts.
Bharat Biotech have applied for the full approval, whereas Covishield has received approval on the February of 15th. Please state your facts correctly. The WHO has not yet approved Covaxin. Still as of date,
Kamru, I'll tell you one thing. Kamru,
And you don't trust the scientists of our country. Are you
I'll tell you. Kamru, listen. Kamru.
Who's the benchmark?
No, Gaurav, 1 minute. No, Kamru, 1 minute. I didn't know you made a point. I want to respond to you. Kamru, you made a point. I'm responding to you now. Kamru, I'm making a counterpoint to what you're saying. Kamru, I'm making a counterpoint to what you're saying. Please, Kamru, let me tell you. Srijit is on the debate. I'm getting everyone on. He says WHO is not approved. 1 minute. I say to him tonight, Srijit, listen, Kamru, Kamru Chaudhary, listen to me. Fact of the matter is this. The people of India have approved. You understand? You hear me? 102 million Indians have taken Covaxin. 102 million doses have been given. The people of India have approved. WHO approval is coming in a few days. WHO approval is coming in a few days. And all that's happening right now is a little bit of global politics on vaccines. You understand that? It's a bit of global find out. Don't be silly. Sputnik has not been approved in so many places. Don't be ridiculous. There's a little bit of global. People of India have full faith in Indian scientists and Indian achievements. We are fighting Covaxin. We are fighting COVID with Covaxin. You understand that? Take away Covaxin from the fight against COVID, it would have been much tougher. It would have been much tougher. What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? What have the Vadras done to fight COVID? What have the Vadras, what is their contribution? What is their contribution? What is the contribution of the Vadra family? What is the contribution of the Vadra family? Tell me, the nation wants to know. We want our children to be protected. And a Sero survey recently indicates, right, 60% of children were infected with COVID-19 and a mutated virus will only endanger them further, right? This puts children at risk. The Sero survey, which was conducted by ICMR, revealed that a lot of children were infected with COVID-19, right? And if we want to avoid a third wave, the only way to avoid a third wave is to begin the vaccination process extremely fast. We want our children to be safe. We don't want a situation. Today in Mizoram and Orissa, there is an increase in the positivity rate among children. Schools have to open up. And viewers, I'd say one thing before I go to Dr. Begai. Every lie on Covaxin has been bludgeoned by reality. The Congress IT cell had peddled the fake news about Covaxin containing cow-calf serum, right? The reality is that bovine serum is not used in the growth of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, nor the final formulation of Covaxin. They wanted to spread this so that people from a certain religion did not use Covaxin. They also lied by saying that the approval to Covaxin is premature. And you remember what people like Shashi Tharoor did. It's terrible, terrible what he did. He went and said approval is premature. Go and ask people like him today, why have 102 million Indians, 102 million doses of Covaxin been actually approved? The fact of the matter is, the Vadra Congress, political parties are uncomfortable if India does well against COVID. If India does badly against COVID, they think it will hit Modi. It's as simple as that. But is this the extent to which you hate your country, that you hate your Prime Minister? At the end of the day, that because you can't win a political fight, you would have millions of Indians exposed to COVID? It's unbelievable. Yes, Dr. Begai. Dr. Begai is on the debate. Dr. Begai, please listen to him now. Dr. Begai, can you please spread some medical light on this?
Thank you, Arnab.
Dr. Begai, please.
Thank you, Arnab.
Thank you, Dr. Begai.
Good evening, all the panelists. I don't belong to any political party. All I can say is that I got an Indian vaccine. Very proud to be an Indian doctor. I want to put some facts on the table which have no political bias at all. India has done very well primarily because of the COVID protocols and the COVID vaccines. We have an overall case fatality of nearing 310 per million versus USA and UK individually of crossing 1950 per million. These are published data on CDC website. You can counter check them. Point number two, the Indian vaccines. It's an unprecedented successful run what we've had as a rollout of reaching 96 crores today. It's the fastest, safest and the tallest vaccine drive with an overall breakthrough infection rate of only 0.2% and a mild reaction rate of 0.005%, better than the global best. The next point which is critical is these vaccines have caused no serious side effects which include, like in mRNA vaccines, be it thromboembolic blood clots or what we call as platelet disturbances or any anaphylaxis or myocarditis. These vaccines are extremely safe. Just focusing straight on the Covaxin. We have finished approximately 11 to 12 crores of Covaxin. I wish it could have been a lot more, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the overall efficacy is nearing 78%. On ground, the effectiveness, the proof of the pudding is on-ground effectiveness has shown to be nearing 90%. We have a very good protection even against the Delta strain, primarily because the way the platform scientifically has been made, not only targeting the spike protein receptor binding domain, but also the N-terminal domain. Keeping the details of the science apart, let me assure all the viewers that these vaccines do not cause any infertility. They cause no harm to your hormones. They contain no animal products. It's a cliche now after 96 crores. Someone has to say this on a national television. And in fact, the ideal mix for disaster is arrogance and ignorance. So I will request everyone who's spreading this fake news and lies, the vaccines in fact don't cause infertility. There is a published data now, they can even increase your sperm count. So in case anyone has any difficulty with regards those aspects of their fertility, please get the vaccine, you may perform better.
If the truth begins to come out, it will go very deep. A lot of people will be named. So every time any media organization, and please hear me viewers, every time any media organization, and tomorrow is the 11th of November, goes deep into investigating drugs and the D company, you know what happens in Mumbai. Question is very simple. Is Dawood seeped into our system so deep, Zulfikar, that the Mumbai police's crime branch is only now looking, I say, Sandeep, for Dawood Ibrahim's aide Riaz Bhatti, who till recently was getting photographs with every top politician, and now, only now, has been named in a FIR against the criminal in uniform Parambir Singh. Which means we are told, Sandeep and Zulfikar, that till now we didn't know. Whereas the Mumbai police's Milind Bharambe in February said they are Indian and international faces of the D company, which now function like a corporate entity with several verticals operating in Mumbai. Now they're telling us, oh, we didn't know. Zulfikar, they're saying we didn't know. Is that possible? They didn't know. They knew.
This is absolutely strange.
They absolutely knew.
It's very strange and it's very unfortunate. But Arnab, I must firstly congratulate you for taking up this critical issue, which only demonstrates your fairness, because you're asking this question to all political parties as to what were they doing all this while. As you mentioned, arrangement of silence. I think that was brilliantly put. Unfortunately, this whole political drama is now looking like a juvenile show, with one making accusations against another, digging out skeletons from the closet like we used to do in school. However, it is evident to all that since the time Mr. Malik has come up with Samir Wankade's accusations that he is connected to BJP and that BJP is supporting him, I think accusations against Mr. Malik has come from BJP, and the entire preliminary issue of drug use, abuse, financing, mafia, everything has suddenly taken a backseat now, and this has become a full-blown political war, dropping bombs and filing defamations against each other. As far as the allegations against Mr. Malik is concerned, there are two very important aspects to it. I think this was discussed extensively in your show yesterday also, and I'll just repeat it. One is a legal issue and the other is a moral issue. And we should not confuse ourselves. Yet, it is sensational, it will attract a lot of attention and all of that, but the paramount question is why now? If the transactions and the deal from the legal aspect needs to be ascertained, we must appreciate that we live in a nation which is governed by rule of law. And if there is any illegality in Mr. Malik's property deal, regardless of who it is with, there needs to be an investigation. If not, then it does not warrant any importance. From a moral standpoint, yes, I appreciate what everybody is saying. As a housing minister at that time, probably he or his family should not have entered into a property deal, knowing fully well that he is occupying an office, and also that it could be bordering conflict. And more importantly, when I don't have a reason to believe that he wouldn't know it, because it was out in the open that he was dealing with a convict in the bomb blast case. And that will definitely come to bite him one day. But, in the entire drug and the NCB story, I don't know where is this correlation right now. Everything is mixed bag right now. It is just a political...
I tell you what upsets me. I tell you what upsets me, Zulfikar. What upsets me is that, for example, this person, Riaz Bhatti, right, Sandeep? Riaz Bhatti. He's a very integral part of political social circles. Even sporting bodies, Mumbai Cricket Association, right? Okay, now I'm not going by photographic evidence. You're a lawyer, you can be taken, a photograph can be taken with you every day. That doesn't prove anything. But in 2015, this man was arrested while trying to catch a flight to Johannesburg, where all the cronies and people from Dawood's empire, Sandeep, were going to fly across the world and go to Johannesburg. And you know what they were going to discuss, Sandeep? They were going to sit in Johannesburg and discuss the future of the D company in Mumbai. Sitting in Johannesburg. This is a reality. It's not a script out of some film. That's what upsets me. This man was having deals with Parambir Singh, who was heading the law and order machinery along with Sachin Waze in Mumbai. This is the reality. It's not fiction. Yes, please.
Yes, Arnab, as a citizen, it's really scary that we are living in a banana state where the government doesn't know what is happening, or everybody in the government is involved with the D guy. And in the other hand, it is good. I wish it goes on for 3-4 more days and they name every other politician who is involved in it. So that's how the only way it will come out in the common man. And maybe, somebody will be shamed enough in the administration to take action that the people of D gang are still operating.
No.
Can you believe after 2011?
But it has to yield into some results. It has to yield into some
results.
That's
why I said somebody will be shamed enough with the management or the administration to take some action. It has to be done, because in this city, after 26/11, It can't happen without a local patronage. No local person was arrested or punished.
I ask you again. I ask you again. I ask you again. I ask you again. And here's the question. Riaz Bhatti. Okay, Rahul Narvekar, hear me on this. He has links with Chota Shakil. Okay? In 2006, uses underworld muscle power to evict a builder, grab a plot of land in Malad. Tried to escape India 3 times, 2020, 2015 and 2013. Using fake passports and bogus documents under a name called Bhatti Phulji. Okay. This man, charged under the Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act for links with Dawood Ibrahim and forcing a builder to exit a redevelopment project in Andheri, which means hardcore Dawood Ibrahim, real estate, crony, proxy, whatever you call it. This man is all over the political system in Mumbai, taking pictures everywhere, access everywhere, you know, in a position in the Mumbai Cricket Association. The man has extortion cases against him. He's dealing with everyone. Now tell me, how am I supposed to say that you all didn't know? Prices of petrol and diesel. What are 2 ways of bringing down the prices of petrol and diesel? There are 2 ways. First is center cuts excise. Second is state, which collects taxes at the state end, removes or reduces taxes at their end, right? Example, Rajasthan, percentage of tax 36%. I can't believe it. Among the highest taxes are 36% in Rajasthan.
Why are you only focused on Congress states?
No, I'm saying all states.
BJP.
I'm saying all states.
Talk about Madhya Pradesh.
No, 1 minute. Did I say, you are saying that. I'm not saying. I'm saying all states. I'm saying all states. I'm saying all states, of course. No, 1 minute. So the logic being presented is PK this. And viewers understand the logic. Argument is, we kept going on and on saying reduce the prices, center must reduce taxes, center reduce taxes, remove taxes. Then we said, now let's state governments reduce taxes. Now they are saying first let BJP state governments reduce taxes, then come to us. Why? Where is that logic coming from? Is there some rule, PK? Is there some rule that Madhya Pradesh will reduce taxes first and Rajasthan will bring taxes down after that? Absurd. PK. Bring taxes down. Simple.
You know, the union territories which are controlled by the center has already instructed, I'm told, the union territories to cut their taxes immediately. I believe that most of the BJP ruled states will anyway cut their taxes. But the important point to remember is that during UPA 2, average inflation for 5 years was more than 10%. So the question for Rahul Gandhi is, why, when you rule the country, or when your party rules the country, is inflation 10% on average for 5 years? And this is not just during UPA 2. During Narasimha Rao's government, 91 to 96, average CPI inflation was 10% then too. So compared to that, right now we have inflation at 4.35%. So inflation is under control when the BJP is in power. Simple fact. You know, the reason why inflation came down and interest rates came down during the Vajpayee period is that the entire price structure was brought down. Inflation came down.
No, but let's go substantial.
Presidency to 4%.
Before we go into history. Before we go into history, because if we start talking about history, PK, if we start talking about history, if we start talking about history and who's
history.
Point is very simple. As far as I know, you are sitting here talking all this, you know, and Santosh Mehrotra, what do you do? One thing is what you say, the other is what you do. And if Vivek, you interrupt now, no, I'll just walk out of the program. Listen to me. You, for example, I'll tell you in Rajasthan, you know what they do? They say all these things. Rahul Gandhi says, Dr. Santosh Mehrotra, come on, people are going to have a bad Diwali. Don't you care about the people? You got a government in Rajasthan. What does the government in Rajasthan do? It increases the VAT on petrol. Then it increases the VAT on diesel to 30% and 22% in July 2019. In March 2020, from 30% to 34% on petrol. 1 minute. It increases the VAT. And from 22% to 24% on diesel. You keep increasing the taxes in the states, in the few states which you run. Then in April, you say, no, that's not enough. Let's increase it once more. Let's take it to 36%. Let's take it to 27%. So you check right now what's been happening in Rajasthan. Then in May you say it's not enough. Now we take it to 35% and 28% on diesel. Which means you increased VAT from 22% in July 2019 to 28% now. And 30% then to 35% now. You've been increasing. You're not even keeping it stable. You are increasing the VAT. Who's paying for that? The Aam Aadmi. And you want to come on my program and say, I don't have the facts? You know the problem is, Vivek Srivastav, people like you have no answer to what I just put out. What I put out are cold, hard facts. Cold, hard facts, viewers. Ask Rahul Gandhi, ask the Vadra family, has the VAT been increased in Rajasthan or not?
You are not hitting the problem at its root.
Roots?
You are not hitting the problem at the root.
I am being told about
the
roots by you.
The problem is international crude falls down.
All right.
But Narendra Modi's government does not reduce the prices.
Santosh Mehrotra, I think he needs one more hit. Okay.